It's entertainment time here at the hangout.
I'm just trying to bring a little culture to the group. It could totally use a friendly hangout. So,
Then, back in the day, baby.
it's the culture, Daryl. Good hangout.
Whatever.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Hangout Culture. We're so happy you're here with us today. I'm so happy you guys made it today because it is snowing all day. It's like Michael J. Fox's snow globe.
Yeah, it was treacherous
I'm sorry, that
to
was
get here.
insensitive. I'm James. To my left, we have the improv intro imposter, the distinguished drinker of dark ale, David Murren. To my left, everyone. Woo!
I don't think this was very improv at all.
Oh no, that was. To my right, we have. Some would call him. Some people know him as Tiny Tiramisu. I know him as the Toledo Torpedo. We all know him as Tom the Floor Tom Crane, everyone.
Hello. Welcome back.
All right, it's nice to be back.
Cheers.
Nice to be here again.
So good.
All right, so I brought the beers for this hangout. I brought two different types, and why that happened was I wanted to buy one for me and Tom, and then a separate one for you.
Okay.
Because me and Tom are like the light beer drinker, citrus, whatever. And so those two are like what we're drinking tonight, but I thought we should all be experiencing the same thing. You know what I mean?
I will say this, though. I'm a lover of all beers. So
yeah, I get that.
They don't discriminate.
Right. The only ones, and I'll be frank, like the only ones that I am not a huge fan of are the super sour beers.
Okay,
There's
I don't think I
some
got
that
that.
are way too sour for my liking. Outside of that, though, I really have found myself enjoying, especially in the summer, some lighter beers, whether it's an IPA, Kolsch, Hefeweizen, like I've said in the other episode. But yeah, in the wintertime when it's all freezing outside, I enjoy the high alcohol percentage that comes along with imperial stouts.
It is cold outside
so.
and freezing outside, but we're not. That's not what we're drinking. So what we're drinking is Dogfish Head Craft Brewery Squelch Ale with lime. Let me show that off right there.
A Sequench Ale.
Yeah, so I like Mexican beers with lime in it. I think a Corona with lime is like a really nice drink.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this is kind of similar to that. Tom, catch.
What do you think of Modelo's?
I love Modelo's. The same thing. Like put a lime in it, love it.
Have you ever had a Negro Modelo?
I probably have.
It's their darker beer, but it's like
Yeah.
similar to like the Schwartz beer that I was describing the other episode, where it's not a super heavy dark beer. It's a little bit lighter, and it's one of my favorite beers that you can just buy at like any store or gas station.
Yeah, I've definitely seen those. I probably had one too.
Yeah, I'm excited to try this. It does definitely look like it's going to be some kind of light ale with some lime, so like a Corona.
Like a good neighbor. Oh, look at that pour. Ladies and gentlemen, I got it right this time.
Yeah. So a little bit of insight into this because I not to brag at all. Yeah. Well done.
I would like to thank the Academy. Dogfish Head. Okay.
When I was working at a brewery, I actually got myself Cicerone, my Cicerone certification,
nice.
which is like all about beer, craft beer, how it's served, but like what beer goes in certain glasses, what beer styles are, and something that most people don't realize is the way that you just poured your beer is the best way to pour
correct.
a beer.
Perfect.
When you go to a brewery or a bar and they pour you a beer where there's no head on the top of the beer,
You send it back.
yeah, it's not
And they go to
correct.
jail.
And certain German beers actually call, like a Helles, calls for a 2-inch head on top of the beer. So when you think of like, that's
Tom's
literally,
making me
that
so
is
nervous.
perfect.
I'm watching that whole time he was pouring. I'm like,
that is
you're pouring that
gorgeous.
right, kind of close to
Gorgeous.
the equipment. But
Yeah, no, that's perfect. So there's a lot of science that goes into like the aroma that comes out of the head of a beer, and that is the proper way to pour a beer. A lot of people get upset and they're like, oh my God, I'm only getting half the beer that I'm supposed to. But traditionally, especially like I said with your German lagers, when you get an Oktoberfest, it's supposed to have like an 1.5 inch head on top of it.
yeah, and Guinness, you're supposed to be able to like float a quarter on it or something.
I haven't heard that, but I know that
Maybe I'm
there's
just
something
making
to
that
that.
up. I don't
No,
know.
no, because Guinness is a nitro style, so that does have a
it's
thicker
very
head.
thick. Yeah.
And you probably could balance a quarter on it, but that would take it having a head of at least, I'm assuming, like a half inch to an inch on your beer. So for all those people that get upset when people or when they're given a beer that has a lot of head on it, know that that's actually the way that it's supposed to be.
It's the way
enjoyed.
it's supposed to be. Cheers to that.
Cheers,
Cheers to the way it's
cheers.
supposed to be. Ooh, I like that. That's a lot of lime, but I like it. It's a lot of lime.
Oh man, that is
It's
a lot
like
of
it's like
lime.
more lime than what
Holy
it
smokes.
almost tastes like a salted. It's almost like salted lime.
Is it a sour? Oh
No,
my god,
but
that
it
makes
kinda
my
tastes
lip,
like a-
yeah,
yeah.
that makes my mouth like pucker.
Tom, what do you
like,
think?
Oh my
You
goodness,
probably like it.
It made me forget that we traveled here in like winter storms and
That's true.
terrible roads. Like,
does
I feel
put
like
you-
it's summer.
Yeah, it does put you on a beach somewhere, right? I could enjoy this next to a beach. It wouldn't probably taste as sour with like the salty air. But man, that was
It is sour.
I wasn't expecting that much lime. I was thinking more along the lines of a Corona. Now, a
Yeah,
Corona is
with
a
hint of
lager.
lime.
So with ales, you can do a lot with flavors. So I'm sure that Dogfish Head is a well-known brewery that's great, but I'm sure that they added quite a bit of lime extract in this beer.
Yeah.
And
This almost tastes like a
man, it comes
margarita.
through.
You know what
A
I mean?
little bit, a
It
little
almost tastes
bit.
like a margarita.
And it rides their brand. You know, like I see
I
it
like
making
it.
sense for
I
them.
don't not like it.
So out of
it's
10,
good.
what would you rate it?
I'd probably rate it a 7, just because I still like it, but it's not what I thought it was gonna be.
Okay, Tom, out of 10.
No, yeah, I'd probably go close to 7. I think it's
You can
fine.
use decimal points. Come on, give us an official score.
6.7.
Oh, so screw the
So
7.
so it's 6-7. Is that what you're saying? 6-7.
We gotta stay cool with the kids. We gotta keep our numbers
Yeah,
up.
well done. Well, good way to sneak it
Bro,
in
you're
there.
aura farming. All right, not cool.
But yeah, it is
Get back
good.
to rizzing like James.
Yeah, dude. I know how to rizz. I looked it up. I was rizzing, by the way. I was the best rizzer.
That's so good. So good. All right, so 6.7. What were you saying, Tom? Sorry.
I tell the kids I'm like, when I'm nice, I tell them I'm trying to rizz their mom, and then they laugh at me.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But yeah, it's good. It definitely is like punchy with the lemon, the citrus, like you talked about.
Lime.
Lime forward. Lime is a citrus.
Limes and lemons are.
Says it right here on the can, Tom. Come on.
It's half a Sprite. It's the same thing. But
Oh, Sprite. Okay, it's half a Sprite. That's good. All right.
Lemon and lime.
Sorry.
but yeah, it's okay. It's definitely got a kick, like a punch to it. And when you said
Yeah.
margarita, I was like, oh yeah, this is like drinking a margarita
You know,
mix.
there's a punch sound effect that I used that one time. No one heard.
It's hard to
It
produce.
will remain
I use a punch.
unheard.
It's hard. It's hard to talk and produce at the same time. I'll give them a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
We're only
it is
14 episodes in. Well, by like episode 20, 25, Tom, you better be on this.
still a baby podcast. We're just like,
But
oh,
this
there you
is-
go. Nice.
But this is like episode 2.5 with the soundboard.
I'll subtract an episode and a half for that one that the mics weren't on. So this
Yeah.
is 11 point or 10.5.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
So a
yeah.
7, a 6.7. I think that this lime is just like crazy strong. So I would have toned back on the lime quite a bit. That impacts the score dramatically. I'm going like 5.8 with this beer. If it was marketed as a sour, I would feel differently. But if I'm in the grocery store, or I'm not sure where exactly you got this, but I
grocery store.
would grab it thinking that it would be more along the lines of a Corona. If this was the only 6-pack that I was bringing to a party and this was
Yeah.
my beer, I might be a little disappointed.
Yeah,
So-
for sure. If I had to drink that all night instead of like a lighter beer with like a less, less lime in
Give
it.
me my
Yeah.
lime.
We'll mute that. Cut the internet. Cut the internet. This is the Russian soundboard. This is why we don't trust the Russian soundboard. I saw you use the same soundboard that is half in Russian. You can't trust that.
I'm in the English side though. I think it was
All
sabotage.
right, your homework for next week is find a better soundboard, Tom. That's
One
what
that
you can
will-
do.
That's free.
Well, at least we can fix that in
Yes.
post, so it's not going to jump scare
Oh,
our
my
audience. 'Cause
goodness.
that was loud.
The first part was great, and then it just got all screaming. And
I just thought I was gonna say limes.
and then it
the
just
Russians
started
will trick you.
screaming like a woman being attacked.
after
All the
saying
limes.
lime,
Too
yeah.
much limes.
Limes are coming after.
All right. Well, speaking of
man.
being attacked, should we do our week weekly updates?
Yeah, we can do some updates.
I don't know what that segue was.
I was gonna say, is that foreshadowing?
No, I kind of wanted it to be mysterious, but no one got in a fight.
Yeah, our spooky episode was last episode, but
Yeah.
all right. So I guess I can go with some updates real quick. We had the wonderful time of shooting a wedding this past weekend. It happened to happen on a Sunday.
It was a Sunday wedding.
Little abnormal and
Rare.
in January as well. So
And it snowed the night before, which was so nice.
Yeah, it snowed the night before and left the venue with like this really, really pretty dusting of snow over everything. Which after
Where was it?
Oh, gee.
Where was it?
Yeah.
Where
What
was it,
the
Tom?
venue
Oh,
name?
you know what? Because I went to the wrong venue at first.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh,
It was
yeah.
Tall Oaks. It was
Tell-
it's Tall Oaks
tell the
West.
story, tell the
Tall Oaks-
story.
It's Tall Oaks West, not
Yeah.
Tall Oaks Event Complex.
Yeah, this is fun. I think it's a fun part of the story.
No, it's not very fun. But in the morning, because I usually get there an hour before we're even scheduled to get there because I'm like crazy.
Yeah.
David's
This
not
is a
like
BTS
perfectionist.
to all the future brides that we've already booked with. We
Yeah,
will
we
be there
love you.
early.
Yeah, earlier than you think. We're gonna be stalking you the day before.
We will
actually.
even show up to other venues before
You're gonna look
yours.
out the night before, like, was that my photographer? Like, no, that's not us in the bushes. No, anyway, we get there.
so
I get there like an hour early, just because like things like this might happen, right? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, this was a
I take
great
into
instance,
consideration
you know?
everything. And I thought it was Tall Oaks Event Complex, which was like 50 something minutes away from my house. And to double check, I cross-referenced the phone numbers, and they were the same phone numbers, right? So I put that in my GPS, traveled 50 something minutes, got there, and the whole premise of us getting there was like everything was supposed to be set up already to take photos.
Yes, we were supposed to capture the entire ceremony location because it was happening in the same place. So they were just flipping the ceremony location for the reception.
But
so they said everything was set up.
The night
you guys
before,
can show
because
up.
they said they wouldn't even have a wedding the night before this venue.
Yeah.
So everything's, and we're like, awesome. So like that was even more of a reason I want to get there early. And I got there early, and there's like 2 cars there. And I'm like, okay, so it was locked, and I look in through like the glass, and all the chairs were on top of the tables, and it looked like there was just a wedding that happened there. Like everything just looked dirty.
Yeah.
Nothing looked set up or anything. I was like, son of a bitch, this again. It's going to be one of these days.
One of these
One of
days.
these days, isn't it? And so I go back to my car kind of huffing and puffing. But before that happens, I see this woman coming out of like the guest area.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is there a wedding here? And she's like, I'm pretty sure there's not a wedding here today. We had a wedding here last night. And I was like, okay. So alarms like start going off in my head because I'm like, they said there wasn't a wedding here the night before. And now she's telling me there's not a wedding here today, but there was yesterday. And so that's when I get in my car and I look up their contract. And I think on their contract they said Tall Oaks West. But I was just nice, Tom. That was good. On my meeting notes, for whatever reason, I had Tall Oaks Event Complex. And then on the contract it said Tall Oaks West. But I'd never looked at the contract really to...
Yeah.
So anyway, I ended up getting there maybe like 10 minutes after you got there. You know what I mean?
I was
So,
still flying the
it's fine.
drone
It's
when
fine.
you showed up. It was fine.
it's fine, guys.
It
Trust
was.
us.
I bet you were totally calm and handled it very well.
I actually wasn't that bad, was I?
No.
I wasn't freaking out.
No, it really wasn't. And the whole day overall went really, really well.
Right.
We got some beautiful shots while it was
We might show a
snowing.
picture. Like
Yeah,
one.
or I know I'm going to be posting a reel, so I might even just like let the reel post or
Something,
run in the
yeah.
center. But it was a lot of fun. The couple was great to work
Awesome
with.
couple.
A lot of fun to work with. And then just kind of working is a part of my update. Like just really working hard on the podcast, really working hard editing that wedding. Now that like we're getting a little bit of a spurt of weddings in January, and then we have a big off. Our like real off season happens
Right.
after this
Until
weekend.
April. Yeah.
And that's when we're going to be really honing in on the documentary that I
Yes.
cannot wait to get to a point where we're able to show people or like send out for music or whatever step happens like directly.
I'm always
after that.
excited
But
to look back on that trip and watch those shots and stuff. Like no matter
Yeah.
what part of the documentary we were editing, I always just love whether it's like the interviews or the B-roll or whatever we shot. It's just like always so fun to go back and revisit. I could watch that footage like so much.
Yeah.
Like
That
Yeah.
one with the cows, the drone shot with the cows running in the field, that one always gets me. And then there's one of you like wearing a hoodie And that was like the first time I saw you kind of working, but not wedding work.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
just like, this
Was it
is
when the
James in
pigs
the
were
wild.
attacking him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that was a
cute.
Verdant.
We might show that video.
Yeah, that was
here,
at
too.
Verdant Acres.
Yeah.
And they were mauling James in the
They
middle
loved
of this
me. They were nudging
pig
me.
pen.
Like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, it
They
was
were
so
adorable.
cool.
Oh, man.
It-
That was such a blast.
Every time I see footage from there, it really does put me right back there. And it's so exciting because I can remember what I was feeling when I was capturing those moments, and I am just hoping that we can get like 10% of that to come
I
across
think we
in the
nailed
documentary.
it. Like I'm
yeah,
I'm a very hard. I'm my own like worst critic. I really am. Like I'm like miserable to myself.
yeah.
But like for me to say like I'm excited about this and like I think everything like came out really well is like something. Like I never say that.
Yeah. It's wild. And getting it to where we're at right now, where like all the narrative is set, has been very, very exciting. But adding the B-roll is going to be like, okay, now we're
Those are the shots
seeing
we're
it.
excited about.
Yeah, we're excited to see it like really come together. So that actually somewhat segues to the last part of my update. That I think will spark a little bit of a conversation between all of us. But I had saw a post on Instagram that I guess enlightened me to the fact that deli ham has now been classified as a level 1 carcinogen.
Yeah, I've been staying away from like processed meats, like deli meats, for a long time because I kind of figured that.
Great. Like,
Yeah.
if you actually take a second to realize the other kinds of things that are in a level 1 carcinogen.
Group 1 carcinogen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Known to cause cancer, primarily linked to colorectal cancer due to nitrates forming. That's a big word. But yeah, it's increasing cancer risk.
Can you bring up a list of other level 1 carcinogens? Because I know asbestos is listed in that. So like, if you can think of the equivalent when you're eating a deli sandwich that has deli ham in it as eating asbestos.
I used to work at Subway. Oh, I did have that story.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right, Tom's bringing it up for us. So tobacco, alcoholic beverages, so ethanol itself, asbestos, air pollution, radiation, chemicals such as benzene, formaldehyde, arsenic. So a lot of just crazy bad things.
Not bacon.
Yeah. But like, it's what we were like grown up on. Like, I remember any kind of deli meat, whether it was like turkey or ham or any of that, you would go to the Giant Eagle for us here in Ohio, and you would go up to the counter and you would tell them you would want a pound of whatever, and that was your school lunch your lunch for school the whole entire week.
Yeah.
And
It's heavily processed.
yeah, when they're pulling out like a ham and putting it on the slicer, and it doesn't look like an animal, it looks like a bunch of like
what they have at Arby's. Have you ever seen like, the Arby's
it's disgusting. It's disgusting. So like, it's just wild to me that one, it's taken this long for it to be classified as that dangerous, and two, that it is still something that's being sold over the counter and getting as limited press because it's not regulated like tobacco or
it should have a sticker or
is.
something on it.
Yeah,
like,
they're not and
cancer.
it goes into like our documentary with greenwashing and like where your actual food is coming from, and they will do anything they can to mislead you into thinking that it's something that's okay for you to consume.
Our documentary was so compelling that ever since we shot it, I have yet to buy a single pound of anything burger related or ground beef related, other than White Oaks, with chicken, local chicken, and it's tasted just a million times better, and it goes into like the money you spend at something like White Oaks or Farmers Rail and stuff really does a lot more in the local economy too. So
it's so inspiring too to like see that there really is a movement and exposure to regenerative farming amongst certain influencers. Like, I know I just listened to a Gary Brecka podcast, and he had said like his main goal, because right now he lives in Miami, Florida, was to buy a good amount of property and start a regenerative farm. And him even like expressing that desire is getting his audience aware to what regenerative farming is. And that's where I think our documentary is going to come into such a clutch time where people are thirsty for the knowledge of what regenerative farming actually is and what are the benefits. Why do these people want to do that? And if they're not long listeners of someone like Gary Brecka, they might not understand what regenerative farming even is.
Well, yeah, we started this whole documentary because we saw Will Harris on the Joe Rogan podcast, and
Yeah.
I was thinking, how cool would it be if it just serendipitously lined up to where like he had him on, because he's had him on multiple times.
Yeah, he's had him on
imagine if
twice.
he had him on, and then that like lined up with the same time that we were releasing the documentary. Like,
Yeah.
how cool would that be?
Oh, it would
That would
it
be
would
pretty
be incredible
sweet.
because he's
Yeah.
somewhat due. I know the last time that
Right.
he gave an update, and there's
It's
been a
usually
lot
year
of
and a half. Yeah.
there's been a lot of change in the laws in Georgia. Unfortunately, I'm not like totally up to date with them, but I know that I've been seeing multiple posts by White Oaks on Instagram that have been talking about the laws and change and what they're actually able to do and how it's really, really making it hard for farmers like him to exist without bending over to the industrial model.
Yeah, I don't know about that specifically because that was recent, right? Seems
Yeah,
like it was recent.
within the last year, I know that I saw a couple posts. So like I'd have to go back and look at it. Unfortunately, I'm not.
I know they
versed
post
on
about it too on
but
their social media.
Yeah.
You know, they're very up to date on legislation.
They're
that's happening.
great on their social media. I mean,
Yeah.
really, if you guys have a second, just go visit their Instagram, throw them a follow. You will want to see what's coming out of their farm. They inspired us
Oh.
and were the first farm that we visited and really drove home everything about this documentary. They are the like main focus of the documentary.
Yeah, I just saw that they're introducing skeet shooting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to White
How
Oaks. I was
fun.
like, that's. I posted like I commented. I was like, hell yeah, and they liked it. And I was like,
That's
dude,
awesome.
I love skeet shooting.
Well,
so.
something that's so cool about them is that one of the things we learned, and this isn't necessarily a spoiler alert to the documentary, but Will Harris has been buying almost all of the properties that go up for sale to house his employees.
Yeah,
in the community.
he'll renovate the house.
Yeah, he
and-
buys an old
yeah.
house from a family that's retiring and moving to a home or moving out of the town, whatever the means of them moving is. But he'll buy the property and then offer it as employee housing for people that work at his farm. And they are just some of the nicest people. This is his book, actually, in the picture, A Bold... oh man, what's it called? A Bold Return to Giving a Damn.
Yeah, and what I like about it is what you just said. It's like he reinvests in the local community, so like it directly ties even the profits that White Oaks gets goes back into the community. Like obviously he pays his employees very well. He hires the entire town of Bluffton.
Yep.
But not only that, but like the profits that he gets, he makes the farm even better for his employees in the community.
And isn't that the way that like things you'd think that
You would
that's
think
the
it would
way
go.
they should be?
Yeah,
like
you would think so.
And you
Common
look
sense would
back
tell you.
at like when you watch Little House on the Prairie or something like that, and you see even up to like the Andy Griffith, and it might be glorified, but you see that community, you see that working together, you see, and it's like that's kind of what we've lost as a society as we become more global.
Everything's fractured.
Yeah, and your
It's
money
fractured
is
locally and
going
more
so
global.
far away, and the people next to you aren't. So like something like
Aren't
this,
receiving that money.
this is great
Right.
because you're helping the people that you know. You helping the people that are going to help you and help each other.
And it's something that reminds me of what you said in a previous episode about like you would go to the bank and ask for a loan and the guy would be like, yeah, I know you're good for it, because there was a personal relationship there, and that doesn't exist at all. Like I even remember, it kind of somewhat tying back to the other thing that you had said, we interviewed Congresswoman Shelley Pingree, and she was talking about the whole like movement of back to the land that occurred, I believe it was in the 90s in Maine. Maybe you can help me recall this, but she was talking about how there was this whole movement of back to the land and how it overall lost because of the subsidies that the government gave to industrial model farming in Maine. And I don't know, it's pretty
Yeah, in the 60s.
oh, 60s, 70s, sorry, not the 90s at all. I'm way off there.
Yeah, it's anti-consumer.
It was like based off of a book that she had said. Maybe
Back
I
to
can.
the land, enduring dream of.
Yeah, maybe I can throw up. I'll do some research. Maybe I'll throw up some text here for all of our listeners that are watching the podcast. And if you're watching, if you don't mind throwing clicking that button that says subscribe for us, it is the single-handed best way to subscribe to.
It's the best way to subscribe.
Louise. Yeah, it's the best way to subscribe. It's the best way to support our podcast. We're trying to bring a little something different here with the hangout culture, and really appreciate the support, as well as commenting. We want to start some conversation with you guys. So sorry, we forgot to get the PSA out in the beginning of the episode.
So my update, not much. I got my first PC controller, like an actual joystick controller, in the mail.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got it for Christmas. I got Target gift
joystick
cards.
Controller,
like an Xbox controller or something like that. But I think it's like a little cooler. I like the color of it. But
So what do you? Okay.
So it unlocked like a whole bunch of different games for me to play, from Steam and stuff like that.
What does the controller look like? Is it not an Xbox or a PlayStation?
Well, it looks very
confused.
similar to like an Xbox controller.
So do you have like the same?
It looks like the one to the left, but it's very cool colored. But it's
so
just
it
for
looks
the PC.
more like an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Tom, bring it back.
Yeah, it's just for the PC. But it was supposed to come like sometime in December, like late December.
Okay. Thank you, Tom.
I didn't get it until like a couple of days ago because it just kept getting like delayed and delayed. So I finally got it, and I've been having a really good time playing video games. Me and my buddy, actually, a couple of my buddies are starting a baseball league where there's a game called Super Mega Baseball 4. And what's weird is there's no actual baseball game for the PC. There's none. You would think there would be like an EA game or
Can't
this
you?
or
It was that one with the kids back in the day. The
backyard baseball.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Jinx,
Throw
Jinx,
it
personal
back.
Jinx, Black Rainbow Jinx.
Oh my gosh. Same with the football, backyard football. I remember
Yeah.
playing. Oh my, wow. What a flashback. I remember being so young playing those on my parents' computer.
But there's no like modern baseball game.
Okay, but can't
Which
you
is weird.
play like Xbox games and PlayStation games on PC and still get that same fix? Si, senor.
No, I'm pretty sure you need an Xbox to play the Xbox games.
No, because I've played, like, my brother has hooked me up to where I can play Fortnite with him on PC.
I can't
Because they have
download
a-
any baseball games. I literally searched the baseball there's no way you can play an EA baseball game.
So you can play Xbox games on a PC through Xbox PC app or for owned games and Game Pass titles, Xbox Cloud Gaming, streaming with Game Pass Ultimate, or remote play, streaming directly.
I have
from
no
your own
idea what that
console.
even says. I hope our
So-
younger listeners understand that.
So my brother plays video games, and the only reason that I'm even saying this is because he wanted to play Fortnite with me, but I don't have an Xbox. He has an Xbox, and he was like, "Well, you can play with your PC." So I downloaded.
That's cross-platform. So like I can play. Yeah, I can.
Right,
some games I can play.
I think that the show for Xbox is cross-platform, so you might be able to play the show.
Look up if
on-
I can play the show on a PC.
You might be able to. I'm trying to help
It-
you
it-
out here. Like
right,
you
no,
might.
it
It
would've-
might be fun to
It
actually
would
be
have
able to
come up
play
on
it.
Steam though. It would have come up on Steam. Is what I'm saying. When I looked up these games. But anyway, Super Mega
Maybe.
Baseball is
Sorry,
actually.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Super Mega Baseball is actually really, really fun anyway. No, MLB The Show isn't natively available on PC. Thank you, Tom.
All right. Thank you for sharing. I mean, I'm happy that we found this
But you
out.
can play it via Xbox Cloud Gaming.
Because I don't have any games, so
No,
I
but
would
I think
love
that's
to
like
be
a
able to.
subscription-based
I would love
thing.
to be able to play the show on PC. So if it would have came out that you could, I definitely would have thought
Well,
about.
I think this
downloading
game might
it,
actually
so.
be better than all that because getting the license.
Can you
for-
look up this game that he? Okay, thank you.
Getting the license
What's it
for
called? He's looking at you.
teams and Super Mega Baseball 4. Getting the license for teams and big names and stuff like that takes a lot of money. So like EA kind of cornered that market. But what this does is it takes like public IP or whatever. There's Babe Ruth is on there. There's a team
Okay.
called the OGs, but it's very like cartoony. It's almost kind of like backyard baseball,
Yeah.
but like
He's
more
got it
grown
up here.
up.
So
Yeah,
like
it is.
things that the trademarks have
But see,
expired.
it's done by EA
Yeah,
Sports.
exactly. Yeah.
It's made by EA Sports.
Right, but they don't have the full license for everything, right? They have a couple players here and there, but
yeah,
it's
they do
really
like
fun.
Madden and stuff. But as far as baseball, they might not have the rights to MLB.
Right.
So who makes MLB the Show then? Because if it's not
I thought that
EA
was
Sports, I thought it was EA too. Like EA is like the umbrella company, so I would figure they'd own just maybe not putting all of the characters in this game. It looks pretty cool though. Like
It's a lot of fun.
one of my favorite games for baseball related was the Slam, and it was similar like animated characters like that would you'd be like hitting home runs and like the ball would catch on fire and hit like the screen in the outfield. It was a lot of fun. So no, this does look like a good time. You can play it on PC.
It reminds me a lot of Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball for N64, and that was my favorite, dude. That's a fucking jam.
That was the first thing that I was thinking about because
Yeah.
it had him, and he was the only person. Everybody else, you knew who they were.
Yeah.
But that was a game I loved to play. I would go to my neighbor's 2 doors down because I didn't have video game systems growing up, and he had the Super Nintendo, and he would have to sneak me past his cat so it didn't bite me, and we just hang out in his room and play Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball. It was the greatest.
That was the first game I saw for the N64. I was over Brent's house, our cousin Brent, who was my neighbor. And I remember it was the first game he put on the N64. And I remember they were in the batter's box and they would be tapping their cleats with their bat, and dust would come off.
You would see,
and
like,
I was
little
like,
dirt
my
particles.
brain just exploded, and I ran home. I literally ran home and I told them about this my parents about this technology. I know exactly where it was in the family room and where they were. And I'm like, okay, so it's just like when he's bored in the box, when you don't push any like buttons, he like taps the bat with his cleats and dust pops up, and it's so amazing. It's in 3D, and I want this so bad. My birthday's coming up or whatever. I was freaking out about it. But my age specifically, I'm 36, so I was born in '89. And we saw that transition of like 2D games to 3D games.
And how many times did we say it's never going to get any better?
You guys?
Well,
sorry. Do you guys remember? So I remember having a PlayStation 1, and they would sell the disc that had like 20 different games on it. And you'd be able to play like these mini versions of 20 different games that were trying to get you sold on buying the main game.
Yeah, they're like demos.
It was like a demo disc.
Pizza Hut would do that, where it would come in Pizza Hut.
It was like that boat racing game or something.
Yeah, I remember it was always like tennis and
even golf,
golf, and then they'd have a couple
Crunch.
Shooting games.
Even
but like,
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like cereal, would have CDs for games.
Oh my god, this
so awesome.
this is so funny. I had no clue this was gonna come up, but it reminds me. Do you remember when fast food restaurants, when they were first starting up in the late '90s and early 2000s, they would have these like giveaways, right? They would have like actual giveaways. Like I remember the Indians at the time, they had these baseballs that they gave away with Happy Meals, and that you could get only from McDonald's. So
a lot of them you had to pay for extra, like the one with the stand where it had like Omar.
Yes, I literally have that.
Yeah.
Like Omar Vizquel and Kenny Lofton and David Justice. Yes, he's when it has like a picture of them on the front. But the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it reminded me I have these old Burger King gold Pokemon cards.
Pokemon. See how much those are worth.
I did. I just looked them up, and I have 3 Charizards that are in like really decent condition.
My God, that could be worth something.
They're going for like thousands of dollars.
Sell them.
They're 23 karat. You have to look. This 23 karat gold plated. Scroll down, Tom. It's a $19.99 Burger King. Okay, maybe not thousands, but $250, $800.
No, there's a bunch more zeros in there.
I
get
remember,
it graded. Get it graded. Look how much it goes up when you grade it.
Right. I remember thinking that I had 3 of them, so if it were to go for anywhere between $250 and $800, I'd make over $1,000. So that's where that number
should sell
came
it
from.
now. That's my
but
financial
I was
advice.
like, holy. Like, it still has the plastic covering, the card that originally came with it.
Send it in to get graded, dude.
Yeah.
Do some research and get it graded.
I recently took them over the winter or over Christmas. I grabbed them from my parents' house and brought them in. But, like, those were things that were given away by fast food restaurants. Like, the toys that came in Happy Meals for, like, different premieres and sponsorships.
Remember the Beanie Babies?
Yes.
The Beanie Babies.
Beanie
Then
Babies
the
were
Dream Team,
huge.
the NBA Dream Team, they had the cups, but they were like the sturdy, hard plastic.
Yes.
And then I remember
fast food was
Taco
better
Bell did
back in the
Terminator
day.
2 for a while, or then any of the new Batman movies. It was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
We didn't get fast food a lot. So when we did and we got one of those cups, that went right up on a shelf.
Yeah, my sister actually just gifted me for Christmas as like a nostalgic thing. She gifted me 3 different plates that were actually McDonald's plates. They were Disney plates. One of them had Hercules on it. One of them had Zeus on it, and she bought me them as like kind of just to remember the good times, because we used the plates for years in my family afterwards. Like, that was the kind of stuff that fast food restaurants were giving away back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And like nowadays, it's like they're going to give away the deal on your app when you get X amount of McDoubles in a month.
Or it's like a little plastic spinning top with some stickers.
Yeah, it's all bull.
They get me anytime they release the Pokemon cards because I did go a couple times when they had the Pokemon boosters.
I didn't
in
even
it.
know they had Pokemon.
I
That's
had-
actually a decent gift. They're going to give away Pokemon cards. Are there certain
Yeah.
ones you could only get from McDonald's
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever?
fun. I never opened one. It's funny because I had 3 Pokemon boosters just like sitting in my office because I just like to collect them and whatever. And it's like my nerdy thing because I play Magic sometimes. If people didn't know, I think I mentioned that. But yep. I play Magic. It's so fun. But I know my mailman. I talked with my mailman like every morning because I walk the dogs and we catch up. And his son is really into Pokemon stuff. And he said it was his birthday. And I was like, oh, when you stop by my house, like knock on my door, I have like these McDonald's boosters. And he's like, oh, my son would love them. Like if that would be awesome. Thank you so much. So I gave him 2 of my boosters. I still have 1 sealed. So I got to keep 1, get graded or whatever. Like 10 years from now, who knows what's going to happen with the economy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I would have never thought that these random gold Pokemon cards from Burger King in the late 90s or 1999 would
just
be
hold
worth
on to one.
anything
just
now.
hold on to one nowadays.
Yeah, it's totally
This
worth
economy's
it.
insane.
And you know how many videos I've seen on social media, like people at card fairs or whatever, like having open pack or like opening a pack on site, and like sealed packs go for way more.
Yeah, you can
than
either lose
the
a lot of
cards
money.
and stuff.
You're more likely to lose a lot of money. So
But you could sell that sealed pack at one of these fairs in 10 years for $100
Right.
compared to opening it and maybe find cards that are worth a couple dollars.
yeah.
But it's that weird thing because, like, I remember growing up, my dad would be like, "Oh, if I would have never opened up this Star Wars toy, we'd be rich right now," or this, that, or that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a silly way to
But
live.
I could look back at a bunch of stuff too, where it's like, well, now whether it's clothes, whether it's toys, and it's like, what were you supposed to do? Just everything you got, just store it away in the hopes of
Right.
Yeah.
making money off it someday.
And then-
No, I mean no. I'm not opening this Game of Thrones.
Oh, I definitely have some Funko
Legacy
Pops unopened,
collectors.
and
Well, that's funny.
Daenerys
Like,
Targaryen.
my sister actually every single year
Sealed in box.
for Christmas, my parents buy her the Barbie Christmas doll for that reason, because now she's
Okay.
had them ever since 1995 is when she was born. She has every single Barbie Christmas doll that they've released since 1995. One
Yeah.
day, and they're all unopened. She's never opened a single one of them.
Yeah.
So like one day that whole collection is going to be worth a lot of money, and that's why my parents have done it. And like that's something that the generation before us really instilled in us, is like having these collector items that come out year after year.
My dad collects Budweiser mugs every winter. They come out with a different Budweiser mug
Yeah.
where it showcases the horses and the snow.
I've seen them up on the shelf in the basement,
He's-
right?
I think it started in like the 80s or what. He's had the first one, and the
like
first
the
one
beer
looks,
stein looking
Yeah.
ones.
yeah, bring these
If
up,
you- yeah, if you
Tom.
could
These
bring
are
them up,
so
Tom.
cool.
I know you have to do your update soon.
I wanted to look at them at Christmas when we were over there because they all look so detailed. I didn't realize that they were all yearly release. I thought they were location based when I was looking
No,
at them
every
from
year,
afar.
every year they release a new one. And my mom said like this year in particular was a really tough time finding them. I mean, look at this, like $770.
Holy
Like there might be 10 of
smokes.
them there for $770.
Yeah, and if you were like
beautiful.
now inspired by them, trying to find every single one from years past would be incredibly expensive.
Yeah, she tries to keep up to date with it, but
That's wild.
anyway,
That's very
so
cool.
we should get to Tom's update. Stop
We
nerding out on
we should.
whatever we're nerding out on. Everything we're nerding out
No,
on
this is
everything.
fun.
right now.
I like talking about Ken Griffey Jr. baseball, and
Call me Junior. Call me Junior. Call me Junior.
he's one of those because
That's
he was
the intro song. I still remember it. Right?
See, I don't have that memory.
Oh.
Let me see.
For music, I do. Call me Junior. Call me Junior. Are you gonna actually look it up? Sweet. I'm excited.
Ouch, that hurts.
Oh no, they're just doing
Home run!
Hi, this is Ken Griffey Jr. Let's
play Major League Baseball.
What a catch.
Oh, this is just like the sound effects. from
Yeah,
the game.
yeah, found
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it's
Hit 'em hard.
But the music.
I couldn't find the music.
All right, it's all right. But
But
that's
you-
what the music was. I was pretty spot on.
But yeah, and I just remember like every new video game system thinking the graphics will never be this good. You know, like they're like, look, you could see they're 3D or they're moving or the golf cart is coming onto the field to pick them up, and then each time it's like now it's at the point where I'm playing these and I'm like, the virtual reality is kind of what they're doing now, and it's like I didn't think it could get any better than that.
Yeah, games like 10 years ago are like look the exact same as they do now. So like if you're growing up in this time, like games really haven't changed as much as like when we were young.
Yeah,
How much they would
well,
change.
I know like my stepson, he plays a lot in the VR meta.
Oh, so I don't know anything about the VR
Yeah, so
space.
he's up in there with those headphones on and just doing his thing, and it's a whole other kind of cool concept that I play Madden 2022 still, so
Yeah.
like
I
once
feel like
every couple of weeks.
I feel like that's a similar jump to what we experience with like online multiplayer games and like the internet coming in. Like
It's ruined video games for me.
Yeah. I want to get to Tom's update real quick, and then I want to crack these second beers.
Okay, so I'll be quick.
Hurry up, and then let's describe these. James, don't you dare.
I already did.
So my big up, I didn't really get a lot. I watched a lot of the football. My wife worked this past weekend, so it was me and my son hanging out at the house. We watched a little bit of football. We do a little pool at work. And gambling's legal. I think I'm allowed to say this.
Yeah, gambling's pretty legal.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed.
Yeah, they're all for taking your money.
Sponsored by DraftKings. Thanks,
Kalshi.
DraftKings.
Yeah.
But so there's a work like pool to pick winners and everything, and then during the playoffs, you're picking the winners and against the spread, and so I ended up winning a few bucks.
Okay.
Hey, cheers.
Yeah, so it was pretty exciting. I won 2 out of the last 4 weeks, and I haven't won in 3 years. But so I was like, I'm gonna take these winnings and I'm gonna go to the barber because I've been lazily not shaving for almost a year at this point and just kind of letting things grow. And my wife, she has hated it, which I've said here, kind of made me want to keep it going more, which whatever.
No, you're killing it, Tom.
But I've only been into a barber like one other time, and it was before my wedding. And I remember he cut my mustache like at an angle, and so I was really like, I'm never gonna let anybody else cut my hair. I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm gonna keep doing it. I ended up going to a barber, used my winnings, got trimmed up. I found one out in Portage Lakes, and it was super cool. Like it was a nice. The interior was black. It was a local company. It was a.
Do you want to give a shouts out?
Yeah, it was Hersat's.
Hersat's.
Barbershop.
Shouts out. Hersat's.
I'll pull it up here.
Her shots? Her shots.
Or let me.
Like that's not his shots. That's her shots.
Let me.
Okay.
Yeah,
some
maybe
theme
give some
music.
clarity
If I'm gonna do a shouts out, it has to be pronounced correctly. So.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on it, but then I got put on the spot.
Well, with the beard looking that good, Tom, you better give a shouts out
Alright, hold
to
on.
her shots.
Hold on. Hold on.
You can't.
All right, while
remember
you're looking that up, I just cracked this orange beer. I'll
Yeah,
describe
let's
it.
get to this.
How would you actually pronounce
Hurston's.
that? What? Oh, what is it, Tom?
Hurston's.
Hurston's. Not Histons, but Hurston's. Okay.
You're asking me how I'd pronounce this?
Yeah.
Ache.
Ache. My achy, breaky, orange creamsicle sour is what. It's not called that. It's called Ache.
I wish I could play Billy Ray Cyrus.
A crisp, tart, fruity, and sweet. So how do
It's
tart
orange.
and sweet go together?
A little something like
is
this.
From Heart State Brewing.
In Ohio. Shouts
yes,
out.
another Ohio. Well, not another.
Oh,
but just
this
an
is what
Ohio
got me.
native.
This is what got me. Pillow-like vanilla and sour orange. Like pillow-like vanilla. And ooh, doesn't that sound nice?
Yeah, it's a sour ale brewed with orange and vanilla. So my hope is that the vanilla punches through. I think that I've had this before.
I can smell the vanilla from here. As soon as I
think it's
cracked
pretty good.
It smells like vanilla orange, like sickle, or whatever.
Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna try it.
I
I'm
can't
impatient.
do the super sours, and that one with the lime was.
Ooh, no, this is
pretty-
good because the vanilla kind of coats the sour.
That's what I'm thinking. I remember because I think that the can looks familiar. I believe that
It's
I've
actually a
had
little
this.
less sour than this. It's still
But-
sour, but you can taste some vanilla.
Yeah, not to bring it back, but the Dogfish Hail was a 4.9% ABV, and
Oh, yeah.
this guy is a 5.5. So slightly upping it with the ABV, but I'm very excited to try it. If you've had a sip of it, James, do you want to give us your out of 10?
Oh, what did I rate this? I rated this a 7, right?
Yes, a
I'm gonna
7.0.
rate this a 7.5.
Oh,
It's slightly better. There's two
All right.
flavors there, really. This kind of just tastes like very,
Lime.
limey. But I can taste the vanilla and the sour, so I like that. It's a little bit a little sour for me. I wish they tamed it down more with more vanilla. But I think, 7.5. I like it. I still like it.
Yeah, that's sour.
But vanilla.
The vanilla aftertaste does it
helps.
it really makes a sour subtle. And I will say it does a good job of making you okay with going back for another sip. So
Yeah.
that is a complex flavor. Oh man. And this is by Heart State.
It's
Shout out to
like
them.
orange creamsicle at first, and then it's sour.
I taste the vanilla at the end.
I definitely tasted vanilla on the end. I want to take one more sip before giving a score.
Well, maybe it's because I did back-to-back sips, so it's just a circle.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you have a
It
score?
recycled.
Tom, do you have a score out of 10?
7.2.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit better than this, but it is also.
It's good.
I wish it was. The thought of an orange creamsicle sounds real good as a sour.
See, I thought you liked both of these because I got these for like me and you, and then I'm like getting the darker ones for David. I'm like, well, let's just all
So
have
I'm
the same
learning
beer.
though,
Yeah.
but I think there's some sours that I like, but I think maybe I prefer tart because I think sour might be just past that pleasure line.
Sure. Sure. No, I get
I'm
what
being
you're
a
saying.
connoisseur.
All right, tiny
what you're saying.
tiramisu.
No. I get what you're saying.
All right.
I think that this beer is fascinating to me because it is definitely sour on the forward or on like the front end of the flavor or taste, but on the back end, like I'm not left with a sour palate. So
It tastes sweet at the end.
I think it's better than the first one. The first one, it was in the 5s, I believe. This one, I don't know that I would ever really purchase it. So for me, it's still falling below average. I'm gonna go with even 6.5 for my rating of this beer. Thank you for sharing, though, James. I collectively, it's a good time.
All right, so let's talk about some depressing shit. That's what we're missing in this.
Do I
know.
finish my update first?
Oh,
Or is
no,
that the
no, you can
depressing
finish.
shit?
I hope it's not depressing. I hope it's not.
No, and I didn't really have too much more. I just thought it was super cool. It was kind of nice to get in that, and it was a nice kind of vibe. It was originally like the family dry cleaner, and they went out of business in COVID, so they've kind of refurbished and brought it back, and it's real nice. It's like all black, but then it's got like pothos and plants hanging everywhere, so it was pretty neat. But it's just weird kind of doing that because I'm not like a touchy-feely person. So even having somebody like touching my face and cutting my hair, I'm just sitting there like real uncomfortable and I don't know where to look. And when they're looking at me, I'm trying to look the other way. And it's just a real weird thing. And then like, I just kind of just let it go. And I just told him, I said, I don't know what I want. I've never done this. I just don't want to look like I just haven't shaved for a year. So it's funny because you just get used to the way you look. And it just was so kind of like, took me a day or two to kind of like calibrate my brain. Because usually anytime I'll shave, I'll just have that regret. And it takes me a while.
So you think you look that different?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was
David,
like,
what do you think?
I said it looked like I was wearing a fake beard. I looked like I felt like I had a wee
Let's
beard.
do a side by side. Let's do a screen still or like a screenshot from before and put it right next to his face. And I want to see the
Tom,
side by side.
You had it cleaned up.
Yeah.
It looks good.
But it was
looks
just so
good, yeah.
weird.
You
'cause
have
was-
it framed. You have the top of your cheeks actually
Yeah.
with no hair. It looks like I understand what you're saying about it being like a fake beard. No, Tom,
Yeah.
that's what a beard's supposed to look like.
Yeah, I know, but that's where it's just so weird because I don't do a lot of things to like self-care or
Sure.
like.
No, I get that.
You
I
know,
get that. I understand.
I don't look in the mirror very often. You know, I'm just like it is
Fair.
what it is.
Right.
Fair. And
You're a
I'm
dude.
used
We're
to
all
it.
dudes.
With
get
wedding
that.
season, like I try to make a point of
That's
going
why I had
to
to
the
do it,
barber
too.
every like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, you're gonna look nice for the
So-
wedding we're gonna do in a couple days. Yeah.
Yeah, which that was my other update.
Okay.
Is getting excited for that and getting prepared, getting ready because I know you guys. I mean, it's the first, and then we have a bit of a break. But you know, last year was a lot shorter of a year, and it kind of ended quicker. So I'm excited, even though it's going to be cold. I'm excited to kind of get back into it because it's been a while since I've had that creative outlet. So I'm looking forward to working this weekend.
Well, you'll have the groom all to yourself to be creative at the church. Church photos are on you.
And then it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, make sure you bring your hat because photos are happening at the art museum. outdoors.
Oh, I got.
Which I'm pumped. I like that
battery.
plan.
I think it's going to be great.
That's fine.
If we get any kind of weather similar to what we had this past weekend with some snow, it's
the
worth
snow can
being
just
out in the
stay here.
cold.
I don't think it's, hopefully, knock on wood, it's not supposed to snow.
No. But
for
I'm
a
just
couple
talking
days.
like.
But we have so much snow to work with. We're good
Oh,
on
yeah.
snow. You know what I mean? It's gonna look beautiful.
I
Yeah.
just
It can
like
stop
I've
snowing.
already previewed a couple shots from this past weekend where snow is falling while the couple
Like
is
in
out
your
there.
brother's wedding.
Yes, and it looks so good. So like if we can get a light dusting while we're at the art museum, I won't be upset. Is my own.
And I think it's going to be cool because it's not the normal.
It's dusted already.
Yeah, but it's still a different.
I just want
whole
something in the
different thing.
air. That's my point.
Oh.
Like snow falling in the air.
I can
while
add that in post,
they're
to be
there.
honest. I was thinking about it for the last wedding, and I didn't, but I might.
Oh jeez.
Who knows? What? No. There's overlays that look
I know.
like it's snowing.
And you're right. You can
Yeah.
definitely pull it
Yeah.
off. I could probably pull it off myself. It's just I don't know. When it happens naturally,
You just
No,
automatically
it's
think that
always
like
better.
cheesy, cartoony, like just make it look
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, a lot of times it's done and you have no idea.
yeah,
yeah.
we can do magic like that.
All right. Is that officially your update then,
Do a
Tom?
hard segue.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, we're excited. We're gonna all get together in a couple days and shoot a wedding, and it'll be fun to all work together.
Yeah.
for sure. All right, so Iran. I was thinking.
Oh, what were you thinking?
No, I was just thinking Tom should put up T1 just to get us started, just to tee it up. Let's put the golf ball on the tee, have it perfectly centered, square up with that bad boy, the biggest driver you can find, and let's tee this bad boy up. Let's see what we got here with this bullshit. Because I do want to talk to you boys about
plan.
this.
I mean, the current plan that Lindsey Graham and all of them are selling is what they sold in Iraq, is that we will easily be able to depose. We will be graded as liberators. I mean, that's basically the pitch. We have Lindsey here basically laying out this case, A4. Let's take a listen.
Watch
I
this.
pray and hope that 2026 will be.
Build a website.
Oh, we got ripped off. No, it was no.
No, we'll talk. Skip. Tom, skip. Tom, find it. You're almost there. Lower. There we are. Good.
All right,
Hurt
rewind.
my ears.
Rewind a little bit.
I can't see behind your
Oh
head.
man, it was so glorious too because he's such an idiot. All right, you can go ahead and
Unmute it.
Charge of some highly specialized thing. So
And
this.
no one doubts the capability.
gonna crash
of our space.
Grindr
No,
again.
like that's
Right.
never been the question.
Right, exactly.
Can they go and
Yeah.
do some complicated raid away? Like, oh, we know that.
Yeah.
The question is always what then.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing about the U.S. civilian plan. I mean, the current plan that Lindsey Graham and all of them are selling is what they sold in Iraq, is that we will easily be able to depose. We will be graded as liberators. I mean, that's basically the pitch. We have Lindsey here basically laying out this case, A4. Let's take a listen.
I pray and hope that 2026 will be the year that we make Iran great again.
I want a military invasion of Iran. I don't want any
Oh,
boots
my
on the
God.
ground. But President Trump has chosen wisely to be with the protesters.
We're not cool with that. Okay, we're not cool with that. Sorry. Let's
Oh, I
debate.
thought you had your
I'm
two
kidding.
people
I'm
clapping.
kidding.
I thought you were
I'm
good.
being overly sarcastic, but I saw that clip and I was like, my jaw just dropped. I'm like, we're doing this all over again. Wow.
Yeah. I am going to pull it first. I'm going to let you and Tom slightly discuss this. I'm going to take a pee break real quick. That first beer's running through me.
Okay.
I have to take a pee break.
I was gonna
You
try to do
guys-
the
No,
same
you're-
and get
you're-
out of this.
You guys
You're
discuss.
dodging the Iran topic.
No, because I want to talk about it.
trying.
I just can't hold it. It's going to
Okay.
mess up my thinking.
No,
so.
it's fine. What I'm just gonna bring up really is maybe like another clip pretty quick because there's been a lot of like really terrible things that have happened all over the world that happen all the time. I might have just heard a camera go off.
Yeah.
But we don't intervene. Like it's something that we don't care about. And so it makes you wonder, like, okay, so why all of a sudden do we care
pick
about
and
these
choose?
protesters, right? Imagine, and actually, I guess you could play T2, Tom, because it really compares, like, okay, so why are we caring all of a sudden about these protesters? And if you compare it to, like, things in the United States, like, we've had the same amount of protesters for things. Does that mean a country can come and invade and, regime change?
Like we talked about last time.
Yeah. So I don't know. It puts it into perspective. Like it puts these narratives objectively.
So you're kind of looking at it from like a different point of view, which you're not going to get on the legacy news. So if you want to play this really quick, we can talk
to the
about
regime or protest movement. That's happened. We've had many protests here with millions of people who have taken to our streets throughout our just modern history of the last 60 to 70 years. And even then, you could say that sometimes those were minority movements and there weren't even necessarily popular of the entire base. Yes, it turns out we have a large, heterogeneous country, just like Iran, with multi-ethnic groups, all often with their competing in different power centers, that a single protest is not necessarily reflective of the entire population. And this is the issue, is that now with Twitter and with their complete lack of scruples for a lot of these propaganda accounts. Like, let's put this one up here. For example, this was posted yesterday. It was amplified all across. It got hundreds of thousands of views. And this person says, huge protest tonight. Some estimates 1 million people are out. Trump and Reza Pahlavi's actions push the people to protest. They posted that yesterday and said it came out on January 13th. It actually took place on January 8th. Now, those 6 or 5 days in the interim are pretty important because that's when the armed crackdown happened. And now all of the reports seeming to come out of the country say, actually, there are not large-scale people that are out in the streets. Actually, many of the protests have been quelled. Actually, shops and other things are open.
You can pause it there because this kind of outlines my main point is no one knows what's going on there. The internet's been cut for days, and this is going to come out I know we're talking about this is going to come out maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks from now. So we might be something might have developed even worse. Hopefully not, right? Hopefully this doesn't escalate.
I mean, there's some things that they're showing that they're pretty bad of the crackdowns and everything.
Yeah, but the numbers are crazy, right? The numbers are everywhere. Some people are saying 2,000, some people are saying 10,000 or some and even Trump said that he's hearing two different numbers. And but it all goes back to the main premise of okay, so why are we caring about this so much? You know what I mean? Because this happens in a lot of countries, and just imagine it happening to our country. If we had, because I think I might have wanted to play this a little bit before that, but he said a specific protest. I forget what he said, but he's there was 1 million people there at that protest. It's does that mean a government should be able to come in and dismantle what's going on now, or should the civilians and should that country be kind of
heard?
Well, no, just should the people in that country and the government in that country settle it on their own or something? You know what I mean? It's
it's
should we
when
really
do
go
you
in there
choose to intervene? Because like you said, bad things are happening everywhere. And is it because of the Israel-Iran issues months ago that we're just going in to try to finish the job? Or
there's the whole clean break strategy, right? Toppling over 7 different governments or 7 different countries in 5 years or something like that, with Syria, Lebanon. I know Iraq and Iran is on there, but Iran was going to be the last one because they have a semblance of a government and the political structure and everything and a society. So it just goes with that narrative that's been played out for decades now at this point, where it's we just want to destabilize the Middle East. And I don't want to get too, conspiratorial or whatever, but that would obviously very much help places like Israel.
It's not conspiratorial though. It was written.
It
was written in a letter by
a
commander. Dave Smith actually references to it quite a bit. But if you want, I somewhat to chime in, just on Iran, specific. Catch me up slightly, your reference. What
we were just saying we don't really know what's going on in Iran, and the numbers are everywhere. And what Sagar was outlining is even the reports on the protests have been different. This said this protest happened this day and it didn't.
Perfect. So my biggest thing is there is no internet. There. So how the hell? And I've heard different reportings to CBS specifically that I want to say that they had 3 reportings of how many protesters were killed, and only one of them was from Iran. So how are you going to trust these sources and go through different? How are you going to trust that our president, whether you are in favor for or not, is given the right information to actually make a good judgment call?
Well, there's 2 things going on here. Even Trump said, and I told this to Tom, you weren't here, but even Trump said out loud, he's like, I'm given two numbers and I don't know what's going on.
Okay,
So he said
gotcha.
that. And then the second thing is like, well, why do we care so much right now? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, why is it
threatening
make
to-
Iran great again? And why the hell would you
Exactly.
market that,
That was
especially
dumb
when it's
itself.
make
Yeah, isn't that
America great
crazy?
again?
Isn't that
Because the last thing this administration has done over the course of its ruling, and I will emphasize that word ruling since he was in office, done. It is the last thing. Make America great again. Every single American, if polled, were to say that their life since Trump, outside of your billionaire class, would say that they are worse off than what they started with Biden. And I just have to like take just a quick 30-second snippet of ranting, because it is the one thing that is driving me arguably the most crazy about Trump, because I follow a page on Instagram called The Real America's Voice, and they like, the only reason I follow them is because they post screenshots of what Trump posts on Truth Social right away. So like I can see his Truth Social post without actually having a Truth Social. I'm so sick of the comparison to how bad the Biden administration did. Okay,
Every president does that.
but like,
It's like,
but
even
we,
years into the presidency.
but we get it. You're past your 1 year mark. Stop blaming all of the issues on the past administration, because you've had a year to change things. The only thing he's getting credit for right now is closing the borders. That's literally it. It's not even the whole like getting, because ICE has been very controversial. It's not a matter of how he's deporting people. It's the amount of people that he's stopped from coming into the country is the only thing he's been accredited for. So make America great again. What? You're not, is my main point there. And like my rant with blaming the past administration, I'm just so sick of seeing that take up like 100 characters
How
in
long
every
can you
single
blame
Truth Social post.
everybody else for all your problems? It's like that
Every president does
narcissistic, you know, thing where.
But in today's day and age, get over it. Like you
But
made
also-
the plaques in the, or portraits and the plaques above them,
Did
and
you
you
see
wrote
the-
it all.
Yeah,
it's
that's so funny.
ridiculous.
I was literally laughing out loud when I forget who it was reading verbatim the plaques that were in
It was
the
on Breaking
White
Points.
House
I think
about Obama.
Sagar read
Bill
the
Clinton.
Obama and the Biden one out
Biden,
loud.
yeah.
It is ridiculous what he's putting in the people's house.
It reads like a tweet.
Yes, with the capitalizations that he uses, it's ridiculous. This is the people's house. This is the taxpayer's house. This is supposed to represent America. It's doing far from that, because even if you're going to say that he's representing like the majority that elected him and the majority that put him into that candidacy, every single president moving forward is going to want to change what he said and the descriptions he wrote about each president. So now you're just adding to the workload of a president that we're going to need to handle whatever issues they're going to need to handle at the time of election, that it's just so childish. I'm done with the childish. Can we be grown-ups and not just get egotistical about these military strikes that you're making in different countries and saying that we're the best that there ever was? Okay, we get it. We get it. We can do these operations.
Buckle up. We got 3 more years.
I know.
Well, they want to be
So
a troll
if-
administration
yeah.
more than anything else. They want to post AI videos of dropping crap on people who are protesting them. They want to do their slogans and their videos of Kristi Noem and her costume outfits. And, like, that's what it is. It's owning the libs. And it's more about that than anything else.
Yeah.
It feels
Until you hear a politician talk about striking down Citizens United, until you hear a politician talking about establishing universal health care, giving our teachers and schools more money, and focusing on the middle and lower class, which this has not been in the conversation in years and years and years in our political debates. Like, we haven't even been talking about things that would make our local economies better. And when Trump runs on Make America Great Again, and he's not talking about overturning Citizens United, he's not talking about universal health care, he's not talking about making things actually affordable, like higher education. It's all a lie. And if you can say Make America Great Again and not talk about those things, then it's all just like hot air.
But I think
to
that
me, it makes no sense, really.
The best way to attack that was eliminating the deep state. And I think so many people got behind what he was saying.
Well, what I just said,
about eliminating
what I
the
just
deep
said
state.
would terrify the deep state.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying.
He didn't say any of that.
He
so
said
I knew he was full.
He ran on that though.
He
that
writes
was
checks to
part-
the deep state.
That was
That's his whole
part
career.
of his campaign and how he captivated the majority of America
By
to get
lying.
in the position that he is.
But
Yeah,
it's also that he can't be bought because he's got so much money, and that
No, he can be bought.
But I'm saying that was what it was.
Yeah.
And I
He's
remember.
been bought.
Like I said, I watched
remember
Fox
his-
News
yeah.
the first couple
Yeah.
times. I was around for all that. It was that he's got so much money that no one could buy him. He's an outsider. He's going to come in and he's going to drain the swamp and he's going to get all these things. And even all the QAnon stuff was he was going to stop all these pedophiles. He was going to save all these kids and he was going to take all this stuff down.
But there's pictures of him and Epstein. I just don't understand like how people could like.
Well, talk about the guy at
Why
the
would you be
Ford
in a picture
plant.
with this
The guy
main
at the
guy?
Ford plant just recently.
He flipped him off?
He
Trump flipped
he
him off?
called
Is that-
him a pedophile protector.
And then didn't Trump flip him
Trump
off?
flipped him off.
Yeah.
And now there's a whole like thing with the union that the guy is a part of, the Ford employee, to whether or not he's going to keep his job. There's a GoFundMe that he's already raised over $700,000 for this guy for a GoFundMe. He is standing up for what he believed in, and
Yeah,
now
sure.
getting the
More power to him.
repercussions. It's wild the time that we live in. I mean, we could sit
It
here,
is
we could
insane.
release 4 podcasts a week and only cover current events.
Remember when like the biggest take like what was happening in the news was Obama wearing a beige suit or something like that?
Yeah.
So
Or
this
when
one
he
thing-
saluted holding a latte.
Yeah.
And I remember because, like I said, I was watching TV and I was watching Glenn Beck and Hannity and Combs and Tucker Carlson and all these people saying, can you believe he's wearing a tan suit? He's desecrating the office. He's an
Isn't that
embarrassment.
insane?
He's the Antichrist. We need the Tea Party and we
Yeah.
need this. And now, like, you've got what we've allowed, and it's really sad, and it really says a lot about our society.
It's like this slippery slope that you think you're at the end of this slippery big hill, and then it just like extends. Like I don't know. We're like still slipping and sliding down.
It's still a
this.
long fall.
We're gaining momentum.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're packed full of mud.
It's just such a, it's so weird. It's so weird. And like, I find it harder and harder to see, like, understand supporting such a thing and
Yeah.
being so cheerful. And even with this like ICE stuff of like, hey, this is a $75 billion army that we have, but you are the problem because you got shot in the face.
Oh, speaking of ice, Tom, pull
Yeah.
up T3, baby.
I'm actually going to make a quick side note. There is a lot that we want to get to tonight. It's going to be a long one.
Let's do it.
Buckle up.
All right, full screen. Make sure it's.
Okay, so
Yeah.
All right, so this is Ryan Grimm reporting on this ICE officer.
Which,
that,
can we just take a quick
F
second?
off.
Ryan
That-
is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Ryan, his reporting and the contacts that he has. I love watching Breaking Points for a lot of what Ryan's perspective brings to the show. So if you're unfamiliar with the show, there's certain episodes that are only Ryan and Emily, other episodes that are Sagar and Crystal, other episodes that are all of them. Tune into the ones with Ryan. He's got a lot of insightful stuff.
And one more quick thing is this is the most like breaking points I've seen. I'm struggling that line of like trying to pretend things that aren't going on to try to like not have politics consume my life, but I enjoy what we've been exposed
Yeah, and I know
to
that they
with
do
that.
a good job on YouTube of splitting up clips. Like, I know on Spotify, that's the way that I consume them, is on Spotify. They release their podcasts usually 2 a day. They're about an hour long each. But on YouTube, they have like 20 to 30 minute segments, so
Yeah,
you
people
can
can-
watch
people can
those.
find what they want
Sorry,
to. It's very
go
good.
ahead. Just a shout out to Breaking Points. They're a great way to consume news.
And he's like walking away from them, and they're walking after him. People say that they saw some evidence of him making contact with the ICE agents. I've seen this a whole bunch of times. I've never seen it. Here's the ICE agent hitting him, throwing him down on the ground.
This is an
putting
American
his knee
citizen, by the
on
way.
his head.
He looks like a worker. He's
wasn't
wearing a
he
jacket.
17
Well, he
years
was a
old?
worker. He was a
There
worker.
he goes. You hear him say, "Who should we
17.
call?" Like in another video from a Target employee's perspective, he
Listen to this,
says,
though.
"Call my mom. Call my mom." He then shows up. Here he is. They dumped him miles away in a Walmart parking lot after they realized that he's a citizen.
Okay, pause it right there. Okay, so they just illegally detained a citizen, handcuffed him, moved him somewhere, just dropped him off. A U.S. citizen. Tom, please play T4 because I want to
and this
play
isn't
these
an
two clips
isolated
together.
incident.
I want to play these two clips together. So go ahead.
They call him prime minister or whatever. Prime Minister Stephen Miller came out forcefully in defense of the absolute immunity of DHS officials. Let's roll his aggressive defense of them.
To all ICE officers, you have federal immunity in the conduct of your duties. And anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop you or tries to obstruct you is committing a felony.
This guy looks
You
like
have
a
immunity
dumbass.
to perform your duties, and no one, no city official, no state official, no illegal alien, no leftist agitator or domestic insurrectionist can prevent you from fulfilling your legal obligations and duties. And the Department of Justice has made clear that if officials cross that line into obstruction, into criminal conspiracy against the United States or against ICE officers, then they will face justice.
Hello,
So yeah, you can pause this because that's all I wanted to hear from it, and that's all you need to hear from it because what you just saw there with that arrest and then what Stephen Miller is saying,
and
that should scare you. That should send chills up your spine.
I strongly urge people that are just listening to tune in and watch what we just watched, because I will say that I just listened to the Breaking Points podcast when Ryan was reporting on that, and I had a slightly different opinion or visual in my head of what the altercation was.
Oh, he just tackled him.
Versus watching it, because in my mind, when I was listening to it, excuse me, I had the thought of like when they dropped him off in a random Walmart and hearing the audio of him recording it, I was like, okay, but that could have been very easily staged. After watching the footage, like staged as in they would be playing it up as they were hurt, they were more injured than what they were after being dropped off.
And I think they pushed their knees on this neck.
And that's what was made apparent when I was watching the video.
And who knows
when
what
you're
they
just
did to,
listening to it, you don't see that.
Yeah.
So when I was listening to it, I didn't quite have that perspective. I'm just urging people that are only listening to actually watch the video, because it was way more compelling watching it, seeing that this was an actual innocent citizen of the United States of America.
Yeah.
And he was recording an ICE agent walking into a public building. Or not, I'm sorry, not a public.
He wasn't trespassed. He was totally within his rights to
record it, and all of a sudden the ICE agent just tackles him in the middle of this like entryway of what was a Walmart,
unprovoked.
Unprovoked, and
without
then
detaining
the
him.
The clip kind of cuts to like now there's 3 different ICE officers detaining multiple different people, so you don't see like the altercation that may have taken place that would have injured
the dots
this
are
individual.
so close together, you can connect them pretty
absolutely,
easily.
absolutely. I'm not discrediting it. I'm only saying that people should really go watch the video before maybe hopping on Instagram, Facebook, X, and making a bunch of outlandish opinions about something that maybe you don't fully understand, which I think is another big problem in today's society.
It's tough too, because everybody's being showed a different side based on their algorithms, right? And depending on what, so there's like multiple truths at times.
We're all watching that same video. Who's that woman that got shot? Sorry,
Renee Good.
So no, we're all watching the same video, right? We're all actually looking at the same thing.
I know.
Objectively.
I know. And you have people that are just, it's this whole immunity. It goes from the podcaster that gets shot that you're not even allowed to say anything negative about, or you lose your job, to saying that a woman deserved that because she got an ICE agent mad. Like,
I'm sorry, but I thought we lived in the country where different ideologies were accepted. Different races were accepted. Different ways of living were accepted. I'm sorry, but if you are making the claim that this ICE agent was justified in shooting Renee Good based on that she was a left activist, is preposterous. It's un-American.
They've made it that killings are okay as long as it's for political reasons. That's how it is, and they will defend it, and they will change their morals and values, and it's just
isn't it weird that
It's so sad.
There's this one and I was trying to find it today. It was an interview of I forget who they were interviewing, but they were comparing January 6th rioters when they were like attacking the police and they got pardoned, right? Mm-hmm. And comparing that to this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. But it's because it's for Trump.
Right. Exactly.
And if you're on the right side of history.
If you're on the right side, you can beat up police. And if you're on the wrong side,
on one side, you're a traitor. On one side, you're a patriot.
Yeah.
I mean, look, back in 1776. We were traitors, right? Like, and had we have lost, we would have been traitors. But we won our independence, so we're heroes and we're Americans. And now we're in that level where it's like, and they've doxed a lot of these ICE agents, and they're all Proud Boys. I mean, this is just a continuing of January 6th, but just out in the street.
Well, why don't police need to be doxed? Why do they have like a badge number in their name? Because they have to like be above
the law. Why are masks okay now? But it was tyrannical and Nazis if you wore them to protect people from COVID.
Being doxed, I'm like, so what? Because like they're working for the federal government. They should be recognized.
They're not spies.
Exactly.
They're not undercover.
All right, I'll be right back. I need to pee.
No, and I firmly
agree with that. Do we switch to football?
Tradition. No, because I think that this entire thing is absolutely preposterous. I think it's un-American. I think that the ICE agents being granted immunity is something that should never happen in any government anywhere. Even like this sounds
even if
so
you're obsessed with the guy who's doing it.
No, it sounds so dictatorship.
Yeah, it is.
It sounds like a tyrannical dictatorship with the way that it's being ran. You're going to offer immunity to someone, and then the way that they've come out after this shooting and defended that ICE agent who fled the scene,
and
who
they're
also
investigating the girl's wife.
Yes, and also to bring another like side story that I actually heard on Breaking Points was that there was an ICE officer that was seen taking a victim into a porta potty, and an undisclosed event happened. A couple minutes later, they popped out of the porta potty. What happened in there? What was the reason for them being in there? And this isn't the first time that it's happened. It was reported multiple times of these ICE agents assaulting different victims and citizens. This is ridiculous. We've all seen the footage. We all know. We can all make our judgment on what happened. And I know that there's a lot of there's a lot of law going around whether or not the first, he took 3 shots. The first shot is in question of whether or not he thought his life was in jeopardy. After that first shot, legally, it is on the responsibility of the law enforcement agency, whether that's a cop, an ICE agent, what have you, to then stop. He has to, in court, justify every shot, every lethal shot that he took. So this is never going to make it.
But that
to
was
where
before.
No. The whole point, though, is that he's never going to get actually sentenced, because it's turning into a battle versus state versus federal, because he's a federal agent and the state still has rights to charge him, but it's going to be taking place in a federal court. So he will never be charged. It will be swept under the rug because, like I said on one of the last episodes, the one thing this administration's great at doing is keeping things rolling. We will unfortunately forget about Renee Good within the next couple weeks because things with Iran are spicing up. Things with Venezuela are settling but causing other different problems across Russia and China. I'm sure that there's going to be enough developing in Iran over the next 2 weeks that Renee Good will unfortunately be forgotten. Yeah, because Epstein's still the overall when the hell's that information going to come out?
But that ICE officer, his GoFundMe
I was going to ask you about that.
Is like hundreds of thousands of dollars of people donating to him.
Well, he has internal bleeding, right?
Well, I would love that computer.
Okay, but I would love to know like how many people are supporting that, because it could just be a lot of big donors.
I mean, there
floating
was some big
that
donors,
number.
but there are limits. So it's similar to like.
Why don't you put a limit on that, baby? Let it roll.
When the girl from Starbucks got fired for saying a bunch of racist things to one of the immigrants, or the white lady in New York that called the kid racist names, and all of a sudden their GoFundMes are blowing up because this is such a us versus them, like immediately, like
Is
if
that what
one
it's-
on your side dies, they deserved it.
Is that what it's turned into though? Like get into this
Unfortunately.
crazy
Unfortunately,
altercation and then start a GoFundMe to make a pretty penny? Like, how disgusting! Like, I don't know. Like, even to think about it in the light of the Ford employee, like saying that, was he at all thinking that he would get some kind of notoriety to then start a GoFundMe and make? You know, I'm sure that he is making over 10 years of his salary, like that, over 700,000. You're talking 70 grand a year as a Ford employee. I bet that's probably high. So, like, to take a decade of payment in a GoFundMe, that's
Ford workers got $800,000 in donations. But isn't that crazy? Like a president, say what you will. I mean, look at Biden when he was campaigning and he put a Trump hat on, you know, because he knows like the theatrics of it all and the goofy, you know, but like.
That's crazy. I wonder how many people have forgotten about that. Biden putting a
Well,
Trump
they
hat
say,
on
well, that's
before the election.
Yeah.
It's
And
just crazy.
it's funny that everyone that voted for Trump, like all the never Trumpers like Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio, are now like in his ear all the time. Like all the establishment players are now in his ear, and everyone that we were like rooting against, like Tulsi Gabbard.
And then on the flip side, the people that we were rooting for, not to like bring it back 100% to the beginning of my update, but I was a big fan of Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, but now she's totally sidelined.
I was a
as
big fan of Kash Patel.
He sucks. He's the worst. He might be one of the top 10 worst people.
I was a big fan of RFK.
Easily. Yeah.
All three of those people have severely let me down in this election.
Because everybody changes everything they believe
But
in.
I will say that
Again.
like that definitely went into my decision in who I voted for in this election, because I thought that there was a better chance at those three individuals getting into office with Trump in power. And here we are. They are in office. They do hold these positions that I was hoping that they were going to hold. And they're doing the exact opposite of what I've wanted to do. Tulsi Gabbard has tucked her tail so far between her legs. She might as well not even hold the position. I know a lot of people.
She needs to resign.
A lot of people are calling for her to resign.
It's already way too late for her to resign.
Kash Patel is more of a social person and wanting to report on all
He
these
just wants to fly around with his girlfriend and post on social media.
bust NBA inside betting people. He wants to put Chauncey Billups into jail. That's his biggest accomplishment, because he's not going to expose the Epstein files like he promised that he would. And then RFK, who is supposed to start this absolute revolution in our health, has done all of two things: flipping the food pyramid. And even that is like a little questionable. And then this Dellingham thing, and I don't even know if that's really attributed to him.
You go, girl.
It's crazy that those were three icons that I was hoping were going to change a lot of big things in this government, that would hold positions that would allow them to change big things in government, and they have all fallen short and frankly really disappointed me.
They've all kind of acquiesced.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay,
it's like
so
they drank the Trump potion.
Does he leave? Does he leave ever?
Who?
Trump. Does he leave?
Like when? After his 4 years?
Yeah.
No, he's gonna always hold. He's gonna hold a place. He's gonna, even if he's not elected, he's gonna hold enough influence in Congress or lobbyists to at
So
least
is
have
that
an
the
impact.
third party? We talked about that before, about needing a third party. Is MAGA the third party, a break off of
It's
the
not the
Republican
party I
That
want.
would be the worst thing in the
Yeah,
world.
that would be the worst. But I hate to say it, but they'd probably have a lot of support. I know certain family members that supported Trump based on the values of like a MAGA
And I have
regime.
a lot of friends that are Republican, and they voted for Trump because he was the Republican, and they may not support him necessarily, but it's still the Republican as compared to voting for a Democrat. And there are plenty of Republicans who are not happy because a lot of it goes against conservative things. And I know we talk about ICE, and it's like, you can look, and there are tons of terrible people that they are getting out of this country. There are tons of all kinds of the worst imaginable people. But it's like they're also taking a huge net because everything is about their numbers and their bonus. And when you're getting $20 billion more than the Marines, you are an army. Like, you are an army against the United States citizens with full immunity.
It's just so foreign to me to be a part of a team like the Democrats or Republicans, like what you were saying. It's like they don't care. They're Republicans, so they're going to go with it. To me, that's just like so insane because I'm just here, like I said before, for good ideas. I don't care what your party affiliation is. If you have a good idea, and I have every voter, I think, this is my opinion, needs like a litmus test, okay? Right? You have to like pass these 5 things in order for me to vote for you, because that means you're actually for the common person. And like I said in this podcast, one of them is like at least trying to overturn Citizens United in the courts, or trying to like challenge that or something. You have to say, I want to overturn Citizens United. For those that don't know, that's how corporations can donate millions and millions of dollars.
Can you bring up the definition of that for us, Tom, for our viewers that might be unfamiliar?
My second part of the litmus test is universal health care. It sucks that in order to like have preventative care, which is cheaper medical costs in the future, it's actually not a great thing for you to do, because medical costs are so expensive. So what they're saying is like, don't go in for preventative care, but come in when it's an emergency and it's going to cost like 10x more. So it just doesn't make sense, right?
I've got to say, I've actually got a pretty like hard stance on this, because it is so disrespectful to me, to all the trades work, because I am from the trades work. If you are not going to allow me to go get the care through healthcare that would be required to uphold my body while breaking it for the trades work, some of the most sought after work right now, one of the leading trades is HVAC. That is not easy work. I was a roofer, a cider. It is not easy work. To think that the only time that healthcare would be effective for me would be if I actually got super sick or fell off a ladder at home because it wouldn't be covered under workman's comp. Like, let's think real life situations. You're middle class. Absolutely hand over foot. And it is such a spit on me kind of mentality where I'm only going to get the care if I actually seriously hurt myself, because the vast majority of middle class individuals are in the trades, and that is backbreaking work. And I don't know, it's so frustrating. But go ahead, sorry.
So Citizens United versus the FEC was a landmark 2010 Supreme Court case, 2010, ruling that corporations and unions have the same First Amendment free speech rights as individuals. So meaning they can spend unlimited money on independent political broadcasts and ads supporting or opposing candidates. So this all goes to like their super PAC, right? So obviously like they can't control what this money does, but sure as hell their campaign manager can. And so yeah, it's basically what incentivizes bad ideas constantly. It's what incentivizes perpetual war in the Middle East, and even closer in our Western Hemisphere with Venezuela. It incentivizes all of these just crazy things. Why our drug costs are going up, why our higher education is going up. These are the things that we need. These aren't just like wants, right? We need education. We need housing. We need healthcare. We're not just like wanting handouts, right? We're wanting something where like because I was born with a heart condition. I might have like said that last episode, but that was the first time I said it. I go in for a cardiology appointment once a year, and it costs me like over $3,000, but it's for preventative care. You know, it's so like hopefully like they can catch something earlier or whatever, and it doesn't have to be this bigger thing, which is more money on, you know, the healthcare industry. And it just is so counterintuitive to just saving money. I mean, if you look at it objectively,
like take your salary, take $3,000 off the top.
Yeah,
like that's literally what you're talking about, because you would need that done every single year.
You should see how much my healthcare covers too on top of that. So it's even more than $3,000, which is it. But and what this is it's an EKG and an echo. It's an EKG and an echo. That's all it is.
And how long are you there for?
Probably like an hour and a half if I'm lucky.
So you're talking $3,000 you're paying out of pocket for an hour and a half of.
And I have healthcare. I have health insurance.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, I mean
right.
it's ridiculous how much money is like just overall like inflated in the medical industry. Like the amount of money it costs for an ambulance. I mean, how many times have you heard about like somebody not taking the ambulance because it's going to cost them $2,500 to take an ambulance 5 streets over?
Or that whole
what the
it's terrible for us.
Tylenol is $100, and just them asking if you're feeling okay is another $75 bill.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and then in other countries, the same medicine is 1/10 of the cost. And
yeah, well, look at today with insulin and diabetes. Like people are going down south or across the southern border to Mexico trying to buy insulin for a tenth of the cost of what it costs up here, something you need to live if you are a diabetic. And the only reason it was even really reported is because they were getting a lot of tainted products that were ending up killing a handful of Americans that were going down there for cheaper insulin. Like, that's insane that is what Americans are willing to do, the jeopardy they're willing to put themselves in to obtain a cheaper drug to continue to live. It's not easy in America for a middle class to lower class individual, especially if you have a family.
It's the organizations that need the most regulation are the exact same organizations donating the most to political entities and campaigns.
Yeah.
Isn't that just like it's just a no-brainer, right? Like, what do we need like regulations on? Like, well, obviously, like gambling and sports betting and stuff like that. Who do you think are giving like the most money now to these politicians? The healthcare industry. Who do you think are giving the most to these politicians? The military-industrial complex. Who do you think are giving the most money to the politicians? All the things that need regulated. AI, data centers and stuff like that. Oh, now they're shoveling money to these politicians because we need to regulate those things or we're going to get screwed. And so you can guarantee those things are not going to get regulated. We're going to get screwed, and the politicians are going to get the most money for these. It's just like, it's a boring story. It's boring. And I might say this a couple times on this podcast, but you just have to follow the money and you know exactly where the corruption is going. A lot of this thing is, I forget what website it is, but it is public knowledge. I mean, you can look up where they get their political donations from. Raytheon, Lockheed, Blackstone, whatever, like State Street.
And it's always like the same 5 names.
Yeah.
That pop up. Interesting, right?
It's just a boring story, and I hope that and the reason why I bring all this stuff up, and I'm really hoping that our viewers are getting like a solid understanding of who we are, which is just like very reasonable. Hopefully, it comes off as reasonable people that aren't just gonna cheerlead the left or right. For perpetuating what got us here. You know what I mean? Like, and if we can see through their facade, like if we can see through Trump's lies and whoever, like Gavin Newsom, if they decide, or like Pete Buttigieg or whatever, the Democrats decide to prop up, we should be able to see through their lies and want something better for us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's why I voted, Jill Stein. Because she actually said she wants to overturn Citizens United.
But that also brings
like
us
that,
back to the same conversation of, even in this time where the majority of people are against what Trump is doing and against the Republican Party, what Democrat has come up to...
Who's stopping him?
Well, there's nobody stopping him, but there's no Democrat even like bringing up the question of why is he able to do what he's doing.
They're writing strongly worded letters.
It's ridiculous.
Exactly. No, that's true.
They're not giving us any hope because, like, I do not want anyone from the Republican Party in office, especially not J.D. Vance, in 2028. And J.D. Vance is a leading option for the Republican Party to run in 2028.
2016 version of J.D. Vance.
And he gave that ICE officer complete immunity too, like an
and
hour or two after it happened.
On that Breaking Points podcast, they interviewed a lawyer who was talking about civil rights and what they would actually be lawfully able to do. And she's like, J.D. Vance doesn't know what he's talking about. They don't have immunity.
Yeah,
like this is he passed the bar. He should know better. And to have a accredited lawyer say that our vice president is wrong and should know better should raise everyone's eyes. But go for it. 2028 when he's running, that's a story that's not going to be brought up.
I think a 4-year-old could tell our president to know better. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
the bar is so low. That's
but when you're talking about holding a place in office that should be legally binding, to be going against the law in such a fashion that it's complete opposite of what they're like actually allowed to do, what he's saying is not at all true, you would think that would have more pull on the general audience. But because this administration is so good at keeping things rolling, it'll be forgotten about in a month. Nobody will be thinking about it. It'll be something that Crystal or Sagar will reference 2-3 years from now. It'll be like, remember when, and we'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, I totally forgot about that. And it'll all add up and be like, oh yeah, the pieces do fit together. This person is this way or whatever. And like, it's just, that's the most frustrating part. These are people that you can't trust in almost any way, and the people that you would be looking for to hopefully bring up an opposition are nameless. Yeah, there's not a single person in the Democratic Party that's going to put up a fight, and I don't believe that the third party is going to take the presidency in 2028, so that leaves us with J.D. Vance or a no-name.
Pete Buttigieg, baby, yeah. Hoping.
Well,
Thoughts and prayers.
there's a guy from Texas who's kind of getting a lot of traction on social
Mm-hmm.
media and stuff. His name is James Tallarico. He's a Texas state representative. He's a Democrat in a very kind of conservative way, but he's also like a very Christian.
Yeah,
so, like,
he's religious.
Yeah. Again, what is his take on Citizens United? What is his take on universal health care? What is his take on lowering higher education costs? You know, we had
His
public
take-
education before the Vietnam War.
His take
for
is
free.
about being Christ-like and being Christian and acting Christian and helping others.
Separation of church and state much. I don't care
Okay,
about that.
but he was also against the Ten Commandments being in every public
He's
school.
Do you know this
it's
guy?
not pushing
I
it.
do.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know nothing about him. So
Yeah. So I listened to a podcast he was on Joe Rogan. He had him on, but it was based on
what's
the
his
premise.
name again? Sorry.
James Tallarico.
He was the only reason I think Joe had him on is because he was taking such a stance against having the Ten Commandments in every public school while being a Christian Democrat.
Seems pretty common
He's
sense.
a very unique character. Excuse me, very unique character. So
But
like
who
I think that's why he
cares?
had him on.
My thing is, who fucking cares? Like that's common sense. Oh, in public schools we shouldn't have the Ten Commandments.
You're right, but
what a trailblazer!
When
Wow.
the field goal post
should
is moved
be.
so far down the line,
Again, we're
a
not
little
talking-
bit of common sense, I'll take it.
No, we need.
It's
no,
hard.
We can't.
What other
at this
Democrat
point-
has a better stance?
At this point, none. But at this point, we need exponential change. We don't need incremental things. Incremental things will never get us there.
Then
We're
you're
so
talking
far-
about a revolution.
I'm
But
talking
Trump
about
was
someone
that
that
change.
actually makes
Trump was that change for one side.
Didn't we think Zohran Mamdani was a part of that revolution?
Well, we thought Obama was, and I'm not. Yeah, I'm not blaming any voter
And then
for
the
voting
status
how they
quo
vote.
stays
I'm
the
not
same, and that's what's so
Exactly,
frustrating.
yeah.
What individual is going to come up from the Democratic Party, from a third party, from the Republican Party, whoever the hell they decide to put up, whether it's J.D. Vance or another? Like, they're really. It's such a dismal time to be in America right now because there really isn't.
There's
an
no
option.
leader of common sense. You know what I
No.
mean? There's no leader of
No,
common sense.
there
right now. And
really,
that really sucks.
isn't.
Yeah, that
and
really sucks.
unless someone, and
Well,
I don't even
sorry.
think he would be the best option, but like someone like Dave Smith to get into office.
By leader of common sense, I mean someone that just advocates for the normal American. You know what I mean? We're not hearing that at all. Like, we're hearing just this bizarre rhetoric constantly.
Can we get back to the blue collar?
Oh, you know
Like-
what? Yes. That's a perfect segue. Let's f- the fakers, right? All right, Bill Burr, I'm talking to you.
We're going deep on this episode. We're going deep.
All
We're gonna
right.
pull a 3-hour JRE type length.
I'm talking T6,
podcast.
Tom. So Bill Burr, I want to preface this. If you don't know Bill Burr, he's a famous comedian that rose to prominence based on like his blue collar take. Like, f- these billionaires, f- these millionaires, f- these people that, make you work on Christmas and blah, blah, blah. Like, and he made you feel good because he made you feel like he was one of you with all of his jokes. And like, it just landed so much better because you thought he was authentic.
Yeah.
And so he basically, if I was his manager, I don't know what the his manager was thinking, but he did the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which was in Saudi Arabia. And
Yeah.
I don't need to say much about Saudi Arabia. I think our viewers can kind of connect the dots here. But he took, I don't know how much money it was, but it was a lot of money to play this Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia. Basically going against every single thing that he stood for that made him a career in comedy.
He's sold out.
He sold out. So now he's crashing out because he's losing so many followers and so many listeners, me being one of them. I used to listen to his podcast a while ago, and I stopped listening like organically, but like this is the nail in the coffin, right?
Yeah.
So Tom, if you could play this him crashing out, it's funny.
It's that comedy festival I did. I don't know if you guys heard about that. I did a comedy festival that people had a lot of opinions on. Jesus Christ. Someday.
All right, you can stop it there, Tom. He kind of goes on a little long, but you can stop it there. You get the point. It's so infuriating because we talked about how much money is enough, how much power is enough, and when you base your whole career, your whole thing was standing up for like the lower middle class, being blue collar, one of your boys, that CEO, your boss for making you work, blah blah blah, and he takes all this money and now he's crashing out. And I just want to play one more clip from him. Tom, that's T7. That's our very last one. But this is what his stand-up used to be, or what he would say on his podcast, and it just does not land, knowing he took so much money from like a Saudi prince. Go ahead.
Holy shit! It's the last goddamn Monday of the year, and I would say the best Monday of the year, the Monday between Christmas and New Year's, because most likely you have it off. Well, at least you did back in the day. Not these heartless bastards now. They send you right back to work. You know? They send you right back to work. They make people put tips on credit cards. They take a portion of your tips. They can make money off of that too. They don't give you any benefits. And we all know who the problem is. The fucking immigrants. If we could just get these immigrants in a van and stuck in a jail with alligators around them, then all of a sudden these billionaires, you know, they'll start loosening up the purse strings and they'll start trickling
You know,
down
I
again.
I totally agree, because like picturing that joke coming from a guy, and like, now this is just my mind dramatizing things, but I know he's made a ton of money. So like him in like a white robe in this like mansion, walking over these marble tiles, and like just talking about, oh, I have to go into my 17th room in this house to do my podcast kind of thing. And then he's going to talk about like taxes being taken out of waitresses that are working on
Be it
a
as it
Monday.
may, I mean, at
like
least,
this is ridiculous.
At least don't like be the like a poster child.
Well,
for,
just retire. You've made your money. Stop. Like
how
that's
much
my
is-
opinion.
How much is enough? You know what I mean?
Okay,
And-
but we learned in one of the other episodes the best way to make $1 million is already have 10 million. You don't think Bill Burr already has 10 million? You don't think he'd be
his
able
manager needs fired immediately?
Yeah, he could set up
Freaking
his
idiot.
finances to where he'd never have to work again. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, it's becoming embarrassing. You're losing respect for yourself. You're losing your following. Just stop. Like, I thought he was funny at one point too. I watched his last stand-up at Red Rocks, and I feel like that was when he started to tip, because one, I didn't find it all that funny. Two, I found it very misogynistic and sexist. And three, I was just like, I get that that's Bill Burr, but
Yeah.
like it was like turned up to 11 on this special, and I was just like, your points, usually I can see like a little bit of a side to it. I'm not seeing, you're just being a dick. Like, you're just being a dick to complete the character of who Bill Burr is.
This
And
is
I
the
don't
thing.
agree with that.
My favorite comedian is like Bobby Lee. I fucking love Bobby Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And he did the Riyadh Comedy Festival. But guess what? He didn't make his whole career based on saying, you know, the elite, you know, CEOs. Like, Bobby's like, I want the money! That's what Bobby Lee would say. And
Yeah.
he wouldn't care. And we all be like, that's Bobby Lee. I love Bobby Lee. Don't say one thing and do the complete opposite. Don't build your career on this one thing and say the opposite. Like I said, I don't care that Bobby Lee went.
So it's not that they got a bunch of money from the Saudis to perform. It's that he kind of portrayed himself as like the common man.
The man's man, yeah. And the man's
He
man
wasn't
wouldn't
the man
do
to
that.
accept
The man's
that
man
offer.
would not do that. Yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts, Tom?
I don't see. I don't know enough about this. I've heard people get pretty up in arms, and like I've seen Bill Burr live. I've been kind of a fan. I agree with you about his Red Rock special. I think it was kind of. I think I'm kind of like moving on from that. I think it's kind of the same thing. He has his role, and he kind of plays that, and he kind of always has. But I don't know enough to like get that upset about it. I mean, you got golfers taking money from Saudis and stuff like that. So I don't know.
You're totally right.
You know, so it's like, where do you draw the line of like people got mad at Dave Chappelle?
Have you guys seen the new Dave Chappelle special though?
Well, what I was gonna say was like Dave Chappelle, he's still a favorite of mine, and he's made some bad choices. He's got some heat for some of his jokes and everything, similar to, but he's getting so much heat for doing this festival.
Riyadh Comedy Festival?
Yeah. And
Well,
I'm like, well, he got paid to do a gig.
Thank you. I love it because he addressed it in his special and said that he had a outro or a closer that he used in Saudi Arabia that went so well, but that he could never release in his American special. And he goes, if you guys stick around long enough, maybe I'll use that one. And he didn't. But
no comedian was affected as much as Bill Burr, I think. With
I
this
agree.
Riyadh County
I
Festival.
agree.
Just
I
because of
agree.
like the character and persona that he portrayed. You know,
Yeah.
I even think that it does take some points away from Dave Chappelle. Like I would hope that I would never do something like that. But this is the thing I was thinking of actually. So guys, boys, what if we got hired to shoot a wedding? I would never go. Because I'd be too scared because a lot of goes down in Riyadh. Like, you know, Ryan Grimm has even reported on it. It's very bad. But what if we got paid like $2.7 million to shoot someone's wedding?
See ya, I'm on my way.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Okay.
Dude, that's my whole
Yeah,
life.
I think
has
there's
changed.
definitely
Okay.
a price change when it an amount of money that when it comes to changing your life that you take the risk.
So you're gonna piss off the 938 subscribers we have,
Absolutely.
and you're gonna take the bag and go to some.
To not have to work anymore.
And then I'll just pay
Yeah.
you guys to come over and talk.
Yeah, I mean,
It
to
must be a
able
good
to, like-
wedding video. It's got to be a good wedding video.
Yeah, you're talking $2.7 million. Even if we split that, let's say after taxes, you're taking home $500,000 each. Like, I'm definitely taking that and then revamping the podcast studio, devoting all the
We're
time.
gonna have a
into
great
the hangout
studio
culture.
next time.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. Like, all of it gets revamped. We go into doing what we would want to do full
Some
time.
color in the yellow wall.
Right.
Tom's gonna be in a zero gravity machine, like being producer.
Right.
Like,
Just
where
think
did
about
they get
how,
this money?
Think about the documentaries that we could make, or the amount of content we
Like
could add
Parks
to the
and Rec.
podcast studio if we weren't working weddings the next 2 years. Like,
No,
if you
I
were to
get-
take
I
the
get
next
it.
2 years off and only dedicate time to the podcast studio and documentaries.
But you got to put yourself in their shoes like that. You know what I mean? As
And
a
I
mental
would.
as a
I
mental
don't-
exercise.
I don't blame any of them unless
But they already
our
had the money,
entire
though. That's the thing.
unless our entire career was built on the opposite, like Bill Burr's.
Well, we're starting
Like,
to. With
that's
what
what
we're
I'm
saying on
saying.
this podcast. People are starting to get to know us. What
Yeah,
like
this
our
is-
values are.
Okay,
And
so
it-
spoiler alert to our audience: we make $0 on this podcast.
Yeah.
So it's
Like and
not
subscribe.
what is making us money. It's not what's keeping us afloat. If this was what was our living, then yes, I would feel differently about it.
Yeah.
But the fact that
talking to
it's
you,
not our
DraftKings.
living, we're sitting here talking in front of a couple cameras for our audience that we're hoping to grow. You know, this is something that we are very hopeful to become something big. But as of right now, if I were offered that, I wouldn't give a damn. Like, let's go make the money and then make this product better for all of our audience members that are willing to stick with us after that.
Yeah, and I think that was the justification for a lot of them was like, I'll take the fucking money. You know,
Yeah.
if they're gonna give it to me, I can take it.
Well, I've
And then,
heard
yeah,
multiple
take
people
it.
talk about it. You know, Andrew Schultz has talked about it. Akish has talked about it. Akash, thank you. Has talked about it. Andrew Santino has talked about it. Like, a lot of people, a lot of these big comedians are like, yo, there's a bag over there. And Andrew Santino, Andrew Schultz has taken the point of like, I have fans over there too, which I think is just like the most likely scapegoat.
I get it.
It's just a scapegoat though.
Okay.
Like, you're going to say, oh, I have fans over there too. I'm a global comedian. Da, da, da. Okay, sure. But you're taking the bag over there because of the bag. You're not going to, you know, when's the last time you were in Ireland, for instance? Just throw a random country out there. Like, I'm sure he has fans in Ireland. When's the last time he was there? It's because Ireland was not paying him the money that Saudi Arabia paid him to come over there.
Well, it's a whole different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going to Ireland and playing, going to Saudi Arabia and with their laws and regulations and stuff,
Yeah.
like going to entertain them. It's different in terms of moral equivalency, moral value. I hope that I would be not wanting to take that money.
But this is an interesting list. I've never actually looked at the entire
all
list.
the comedians? Yeah, you can go for it.
Yeah.
List them off.
I mean, so we got Wayne Brady. Is he going to smack a bitch over in Saudi Arabia?
Not surprised he went. Yeah.
You know, Hannibal Buress.
Not surprised.
Bill Burr, Jimmy Carr, Dave
surprised.
Chappelle, Louis C.K.
Not surprised.
Whitney Cummings finally
Not
got
surprised.
a job.
She's spiraling out too. She's finally reading the comments. Sorry, Whitney.
Man.
But she has like, it's an absurd amount of like bot views on her podcast. It's insane. She has like millions of views and then like 5 comments. And she was like, why are you guys like saying I'm bot farming with views. It's
Well,
like,
she was
well.
almost like she was like Nikki Glazer before Nikki Glazer, like with the roast and all that, and kind of.
But, like, I respect
that
Nikki
way.
Glazer.
Yeah, I don't think.
Like-
Yeah, I think they're both funny, but they're
Yeah.
both like spiraling.
Yeah.
And she also said, and I said this on the podcast, like being a comedian is being self-deprecating, right?
Mhm.
And she went on this whole spiel about how she doesn't need to be self-deprecating and all this stuff, and like relating to like the comments that she's reading and stuff. And it was just like, this is like antithetical to being a comedian. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Whitney Cummings has never been my favorite. Nikki Glacier, I respected slightly more. I found her just slightly more
From
funny.
the Tom Brady roast and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I
yeah,
think
that was
there's she really hit her stride. There was some fun talked during that roast specifically, but comedian is a hard act to be.
Yeah.
So I only give, I don't know.
I really hold like a high bar for comedians because they're supposed to be the truth tellers,
Yeah.
right? They're supposed to be the people that are going to
They're the
say
original
whatever.
jesters.
Yeah, they're not like they have goodwill because they're shining light on like corruption and putting like a funny spin on it.
Right, and that's why Joe Rogan specials have sucked ass the past couple times because he is so disconnected from that you can't relate to the average when you're in that position.
Yeah, and I don't blame him because if I was constantly bombarded by yes men and everything at my comedy
Your
store and
reality is
everything here-
different.
Oh yeah,
I can't say
completely
I would
warped.
do anything different. I'm just saying that
Right.
it is a disservice to the public because a lot of people still look up to him and watch his podcast religiously, and they're getting fed.
You brought him up, and he's been showing up in my algorithm a lot more. And so, but it's a lot more of those like, oh, he's coming so close to regretting things.
Well, I have that as a
and
clip,
that's
actually.
exactly because
Tom.
he just had Rand Paul
Yeah.
on, and there was a couple moments during that podcast because I listened to the whole thing where he seemed almost like he was almost backtracking with some of the things that he.
I
has
did listen
said.
to that podcast as I was shoveling our entire driveway, which is such a long driveway. Today, I was listening to that podcast, and I do have a clip from that podcast. But they did Riz or whatever Trump like a lot of the time. But I think he's finally starting to come around with the ICE, just terribleness that's happening.
But it even seemed like when he was rizzing Trump, or when he was, talking about Trump, it wasn't even necessarily pointed towards Trump. Like, to me, it was all like the ICE.
Well,
and,
anytime
like,
they brought
he
up
was
Trump, they're like,
inadvertently
I
bringing
agree
up
with a
Trump.
lot of Trump, what Trump does, and I really agree with it. He's a great guy. I agree with what he does, but, and like, that's like the preface of everything that they were bringing up.
Yeah,
when
and
when
that's my
Trump came
point.
up. Yeah,
That's my point. Anytime Trump
It's
came
like,
up,
let's
it
be
wasn't.
honest here. Let's be
it wasn't a
honest.
straight up like, no, Trump is doing bad things.
Yeah.
It was like, well, he's done this and
He's
this.
my friend,
but
and I
he's got this
appreciate
little
him.
character flaw.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he runs this
Yeah.
little ICE program,
this little
and
thing.
like that. Yeah, and so that's where I listen to it because when you have a name like Rand Paul on your podcast, I'm going to watch the podcast. But I was just so disheartened because I respected Rand Paul, especially during all the COVID stuff with the Fauci questioning. And
I'm going to do when enough time's gone by.
Yeah.
Everything froze. Sorry.
Is the audio still going?
No, it shut off. The computer froze for a minute. Yeah, it's still going.
Okay.
So it was like last time, and the audio is still rolling, so I'll be able to loop things. But no,
do we have the clip of Rogan? That would be.
No, you don't have that up here.
T5.
Nope.
T5, dog.
The last two we have are Bill Burr losing his mind.
No, T5.
Right, T5 would have been before Bill Burr.
Yeah.
We're going out of order here.
No, I don't think it's not up here. I don't think you had it.
Well, I guess because we both listened to it. Then maybe do you remember what the clip was? Can you recite at all the point?
Well, it was basically like overall, it was like Joe Rogan coming around to like the fact that ICE is just like operating on their own set of rules.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Backed by JD Vance and everything, like carte blanche, they could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it was, and he's kind of thinking like, well, maybe this isn't such a good idea. And so Ron Paul, like, he's not a libertarian, right? Or
he is. Well, he's a libertarian that falls underneath the Republican Party. So like he's
Okay.
technically a Republican, but a libertarian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, it was just kind of like. joke coming around to at least that one little facet of the news.
Yeah, one big takeaway that I had from that podcast specifically was some of the Trump laws that have been instilled based on THC and hemp products. So I know that he was talking specifically about products that had anything over 0.3% THC would no longer be able to be sold outside of like a dispensary. So if you have a medical license or if you're in a state that is recreational, you'll still be able to go to a dispensary and purchase your marijuana products. But the products that you're like the gummies or certain lotions that you're able to buy on Amazon or at a local store, you would no longer be able to purchase. They'll be outlawed. So there's been some controversy over the Mitch McConnell directive that has been, he's the main writer of this bill. And I know that the overall like umbrella or overall view of this is Mitch McConnell in his younger years, because the man's like 148 at this point.
He remembers Reefer Madness. He's still afraid.
Yeah, he like watched it live in the theater.
Yeah.
Released in the 30s, I believe, Reefer Madness. But that he did so many favors for politicians in their beginning of their career that are now big figures that they owe him favors, and he was able to pass this law that is going to cripple the ability of a lot of individuals that aren't smoking a joint at the end of the night. They're literally elderly people that have arthritis that are using a lotion or a cream to get some kind of pain relief that is been proven that products that have high levels of CBD plus a moderate level of THC, not a psychoactive level of THC, just a moderate level, perform better on topical creams than CBD alone. So it's a money thing. I have to look more into it myself, but I know that there's a lot of controversy over like, I don't know, should someone like Mitch McConnell, who like blacks out during half of his interviews and has no clue where he's at, making
he freezes up like our laptop.
Yeah, like he's the one making decisions on laws that are going to affect a bunch of people in this country.
No, if you want to make laws about mushrooms, try some mushrooms.
So I wanted to,
yeah.
When you
Please.
bring Mitch McConnell, he reminds me, because it just showed up in my Facebook memories, right? It was a local news where that one dude like was getting harassed and called racist names, so he hit the dude in the face with like the iced tea.
Oh,
the can.
yeah.
And then that was right about the time of the shutdown. So then it was all memes of that dude hitting Mitch McConnell in the face with the twisted tea and like all the turtle memes because he was blocking the shutdown and stuff. And that showed up in my history. He's
yeah, and somehow he's still there. And like that's where it's like it's like elected officials means what? Because you have so many appointed that someone like Mitch McConnell is going to be there until he quits, which is just crazy that exists in our government.
Yeah, I hate Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, it's so funny. It reminds me, there's an artist by the name of Chris Webby who does this series of songs that he was releasing as singles, but they started during the COVID breakout, and they're called Raw Thoughts. If you've never heard them, please go listen to them, because
I think
he
them
has
to me.
Raw Thoughts like 1 through 6 now, but in one of them he pinpoints Mitch McConnell, goes after him for a verse or two. it's very funny. But yeah, I can't believe that people like him still exist in our government, and they're the ones dictating and making decisions that are affecting the vast majority of the public.
What about that Democrat lady who was voting from like the bed at a nursing home a couple years ago? Like they were like wheeling her in and out of places, and she hadn't shown up in months, but she was still elected, so she still got a vote.
Oh, who was that?
I'm unfamiliar with that one, actually.
Oh, yeah. I felt actually really bad for her because she was being propped up by her team, if you want to call them that. And they just needed her corpse.
Is this like
basically?
Is this
They
like
just needed her
similar to
corpse
another
be
like
warm.
auto pen scandal? Like where
No, well, I
you
mean,
just
in a way,
use a corpse.
It was a
to fulfill
congresswoman
a
with
vote.
dementia. She stopped coming in, and so they just kept like voting on her behalf.
Yeah, what's
even
her
though,
name? Do you know her name?
This is saying Kay Granger in
No.
2024.
No, that's not the name. I wouldn't recognize the name.
I
Interesting,
think there was
yeah.
a couple.
Well, it's almost like
that
the-
shows you it happens more often than you think.
It's almost like the Ruth Bader Ginsburg thing. Like, like she should have resigned and put someone else like in her position instead. Like she died in office, so that
Okay.
way.
But
her
then you
position
have-
was wasn't it like filled by a Trump?
Yeah.
person? So-
And they said it was her being selfish because had she have
yeah,
left,
and that was my take on it. Yeah, she should have not have been selfish and not worked till she was. I don't
But
know
then
how
you
old
have
she
the
was.
opposite with Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning, who I
that was-
think
that's completely different.
But I
Resigning
think
after all of her benefits
but,
kick in.
But the thing is, I think that she shouldn't have resigned. Is my only point, because she was the only one opposing and having a voice against a lot of the things that Trump was doing. So, like, in a lot of ways, you need somebody in there to talk and put up a fight against Trump.
You'd hope.
And now, what other name comes to mind when coming or standing up to Trump? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of the only names that was actually causing or a ruckus. I mean,
Are we gonna bleep that? Are we gonna bleep that or unbleep it?
I will probably have to.
She
bleep
caused
it.
it's all right.
But it's one of those that now you're getting rid of one of the voices in government that was actually opposing a lot of the things that Trump was doing.
And there
so
is-
what other person is going to step up and fill that void? And if not, then you're just going to have less people opposing.
Well, even when you guys talk about like Tulsi Gabbard or some of those people
Yeah.
leaving, it's like, do you want somebody who's resisting to stay in that position and keep fighting, or do you want them to say, "I'm done, I'm out"?
Like both. I understand. Like
tough.
she like Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence. She's probably blocking someone way worse than her from getting that position. But at the same time, she's not doing anything in that
Yeah.
position. And at the same time, I also want her to resign for like moral reasons.
Yeah.
That's
But then
hard.
you put
That's
somebody
hard
else
because
in
I'd rather
there.
have somebody doing nothing than somebody doing worse.
Yeah.
But at the same
Right.
time, I hate
Exactly.
somebody doing nothing. So
Yeah.
like that's a really, really hard thing. And that's where I feel so disheartened as an American citizen, where like I don't see anybody doing anything that is going to oppose what's happening currently, that's going to change the status quo. I'm ready for another Obama figure that's going to run on hope and change.
And
but
then do nothing when he gets elected.
Okay, but even if they did nothing, it's similar to the conversation with Tulsi Gabbard. Nothing's better than worse. I'd rather have nothing better than J.D. Vance coming
Where
in
we're at now,
2028.
we need exponential change.
And
where we're at
if
now,
J.D. Vance
not
gets
incremental.
the presidency in 2028, we might as well just call ourselves the Israel nation. Like,
Whoa, we're gonna get kicked off YouTube again. Dang it.
whatever.
And
Oh. TikTok's already gone.
Sorry. I apologize.
I gave
for
up
that
on
a
TikTok.
long time ago. That was
But
my
like-
fault.
but like
that was my bad.
That's my stance on it. It's so hard because I do not want to see a figure, whether it's JD Vance or someone similar, that is going
Pete
to
Buttigieg, Gavin
continue
Newsom.
the exact same regimen overthrowing government that we have right now. On the same or in the same breath, I will not have another Kamala be propped up by the Democratic Party to try and give me an answer to what Trump is doing, or that overall political party and movement is trying to do. And I don't see a third party coming in. So I'm at this like crossroads of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I guess we'll just see how things turn out.
And most
Well, make
people
sure
are
you subscribe to this
disenfranchised
podcast.
with their parties. I mean, that's what the stats show, is that
Yeah.
people are disenfranchised. They don't feel like if you are left leaning that the Democrats are really going to support you or push back. If you're right, you really not, believing that they're kind of holding your values. It's really a whole totally different kind of weird situation. And I feel like it's uncharted territory. Unprecedented times is something we've said 1,000 times over the last 5 years.
Well, I think that they continue to be unprecedented times. We're dealing with
That's
things
a
that
Trump
we've
presidency.
never dealt with before.
We've got European nations sending troops to Greenland to like defend against us. Like we're the bad guys now.
Oh, God.
We're the empire.
The conversation over Greenland.
Dude, I
is
rewatched
hilarious.
Star Wars not too long ago, and I'm like, dude, we are the empire.
Did you
We are
see the meme he did with Palpatine? Like they dress Trump up as Palpatine when they do these stupid White House and different, you know, social media posts and stuff like that. And it's like,
yeah. I mean, it is crazy the correlations to the empire or a dictatorship.
That's why Andor was so good, because you could see them occupying a planet and like why they were there and what they wanted and what resources they wanted to extract and how they treated the citizens. It's like it's all parallel to like how like ICE is treating us and how like we're trying to get resources from Venezuela. It's just like the parallel is so there that like that's why I kind of enjoyed watching it, because me and my fiance, we started watching all the Star Wars chronologically.
Okay.
And we've gotten very far. This has been like a year in the process.
Are you talking about like the 9 movies? Are you talking about the shows?
We're talking about all the live action. All the live action
So
things.
including
shows and movies.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's animated, we skip over it.
Okay.
Like Darth Maul all of
Wow.
a sudden is like now alive, but like we try
Wait,
to like we try to skip that because that happened in the animated series. I guess he didn't die. Spoiler alert. Like Stranger Things. But yeah, there's a lot of animated things that are still in the canon. Like Darth Maul didn't die. Like they put him back together. Anyway, but it's just so funny how it parallels the Galactic Empire and how we are certainly the bad guys. Like for sure. Like if you imagine like our country being like our country being the victim of like what our country has done to other countries.
We would invade ourselves to liberate ourselves from ourselves.
Like
we,
a million
we are
times
Britain.
over.
We are
times
Britain.
over. Yeah.
Like we are Britain when we started this country. Like I'm waiting for an offshoot that is going to cause a big old in this country, because we're really at that point where I can't imagine being a citizen of any other country and thinking that America is good
or has your back or is stable.
Well, unless I'm in Israel, unless I'm in Israel,
That's true.
like
That's just
then I probably think the U.S. is going to do whatever they can to help me.
That's true. We'll bleep all that. But hey,
I edit this, believing it all.
imagine how our government treats us, right? And then imagine how they treat other countries. It's like, like if you can't keep your house in order, and this is what I think about like my politicians too. Like if you can't keep your family in order, then why the f- are we voting for you to keep our country in order? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's obviously goes back to like my.
I agree with that hot take, though.
Yeah.
No, and I think that it really just speaks to it. Like we've said, I feel strongly as though us three have a pretty good tap on like what the average person is feeling. And I feel like a lot of people are relating to this. A lot of people are like, well, what do we do then? Because there really isn't an answer. It's corruption every single angle that you look at it. It's picking between the better of two evils since like every single presidential election that I've been alive for. There's no clear answer out, and anybody that's going to be selling that answer probably has an alternative agenda.
Yeah, but what you're saying, like, what can we do? And we've said this on this channel multiple times. Is like what you can do in your daily life is support local businesses and your local community. That's the one thing that you actually can do day to day, and actually see a tremendous benefit from it, from the products you're getting to the relationships you're starting.
Yeah, and I do agree with that on a local level, but I think that on a federal level, I'm way more pessimistic. Because
but it all starts
almost,
locally and goes,
but even locally,
I'm trying to be optimistic.
No, and I agree.
But that's those minimal movements you were talking about, incremental changes as compared to something radical.
We need radical change with politics. We need, and again, if you just cut down on your Amazon purchases, increase your local spending, I think that incrementally would change. But policy-wise, like trickle down or whatever, like we need something big at the top to.
But the problem is that you can have all of the right things going locally if no matter who you elect is going to be corrupt. What do you do?
No, I get it.
Whoever's representing the people doesn't have to represent what the people actually want as long as they get elected. And as long as there's 2 or 3 or however many people run against each other for your general elections, your midterms, those kinds of elections, you're always going to have somebody who's going to beckon at the will of someone above them. And until like I don't even know if like age does it. Like once all of the boomers get out of office,
no.
I don't even think that cures the
They
problem.
have sons and daughters that think
Right.
the exact
But
same as
for-
they do.
For
They're
the
entitled,
longest, for the
nepotism,
longest time, though, I
etc.
thought that like once we get the boomers out, then it'll be done. But then
No,
you have
that's-
people that are following them who have literally never spent a day working.
It has nothing to
Their
do with
entire
age.
career has been in politics. So like, how do you expect any of them to have the best intentions for the average American who's been working at least 40 hours a week since they were 17 years old, 18 years old, or I guess 40 hours would be 18 plus. Let's say you're out of college. Let's say you're 22. You've been working 40 hours a week for the entirety of your life, banking on Social Security at the end of your life and any kind of retirement that you've saved up. That is not the life of a son or daughter of a politician that is only going to have a career in politics. So how could they have the best intentions for all of us?
Yeah, I mean that's.
They live in a different world. I mean, it's different, and they can't really kind of understand and what the common man. That's why they never know the price of gas or the price of milk. It's like they're so insulated from those things, and it's a completely different life.
I think in DC, don't they have like a whole tunnel system or transportation system where they don't even have to like come up from like the deep underbelly
I don't know.
of
The
DC?
big balls got robbed, so obviously it wasn't good enough.
The big balls?
The Doge kid. Remember there was a Doge kid, big balls.
I don't remember this.
Oh man, he got carjacked, so that's why they brought the National Guard into DC.
Oh, I think I do know what you're talking about. And that does ring a bell. I think Breaking Point's actually covered that too.
I don't remember this at all, actually. That's hilarious. The whole reason they brought the National Guard into DC is because of some Doge kid?
Well, because they were getting carjackings, but I guess this Doge kid, once he got fired, he went by big balls.
Ex-Doge staffer recounts brutal former... That's all. That's what it cuts off as. But yeah, ex-Doge staffer recounts brutal attack in D.C.
Yeah, so that's why they sent it in, because he got hurt.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's like we're fighting like a 3-front war, right? We have local, we have state, then we have federal. So that's kind of how I map it out. I mean, like, do what you can locally, like in my Fairview Park community. Lots of places I visit locally. And then what can you do state-wise? Well, you can certainly vote or whatever and keep up to date on that. And then, vote in your federal elections, obviously. Vote in the primaries.
Midterms. Vote in your midterms. Midterms decide a whole lot more.
While they exist. Did you hear the news?
Well, I remember being told, even like when I was taking politics class in high school, like the emphasis on the midterms actually being the way that the average American can make the most difference is so true. You get so many headlines and so much attention on these presidential elections.
Yeah.
People go out, research your midterms, research your congressmen, research your mayors. Like those are the big people that can make the influence.
You can literally make the president like a lame duck president just by you know what goes on in the midterms. So
yeah, absolutely.
But then it's kind of a weird swing because everybody halfway through votes against the sitting president
because they do such a bad job.
Because they do such a bad job
every time.
So then you get you get the new people in, and then you're like, then 2 years later they're like, well, nothing great has happened, so now I'm going to vote for the other people.
Oh my God!
So
it
it's
goes
just
back and
this
forth.
constant like, I'm going to knock your tower over, and then I'm going to build this tower,
Well,
then I'm going to knock your tower
What do you
over.
think about changing the 4-year term, though? Like, is 4 years too short or too long?
We'll see what Trump does.
Yeah, that's why I said, you think he's going to leave?
Nah. I literally thought that anyone that said that was crazy, but now the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, no, that's probably the inevitable conclusion of this. He's going to want.
There's a lot of people that have said he's lawfully able to do it.
And when he says the only thing stopping him is his morals, and it's like we've said before,
his morals
disappeared a while ago.
When he's on the plane calling a reporter piggy or an idiot or a stupid girl, nobody pushes back. So if it's things like that,
No, but all of a sudden he gives a f- about protesters in Iran. Like, what?
But if it's like,
sorry, I don't. That was a completely offshoot. But
he's certain protesters in America he gives a shit about. Certain he doesn't. I mean,
ones he pardons, the others he doesn't. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, we're gonna fund a whole war in Iran based off of protesters in the First Amendment in a country that's not ours that we care so much about making great again that when asked how we're going to make them great again, the first thing he says is we're going to build back their economy.
Bro, we're making our land great again to make America great again.
Yeah, because our economy is doing so well that we have the ability to make another country's economy great again. In a country that we just attacked in June of this past year is the economy that we're going to build up. Oh, and by the way, we're also going to build up the oil industry in Venezuela, helping another country before we do anything about the problems that happen.
Well, now
or
the
occur here
oil
in
companies
America.
don't want to do it because it's expensive, so now they want government subsidies.
Yeah, because
so
it's
basically
crude
they
oil.
want us to pay for
Yup.
The renovations.
Yeah, pay
that
for
need to
the
happen with their
infrastructure,
oil.
pay for all of it to be revamped because it's all like crude oil.
Can we
the
get
whole
new
cell?
roads?
Yeah, right. Can I stop driving over fucking potholes?
Can my power stop going out? You know, can we like update any grids or water pipes or
Right.
streets or
Right, or
just
can
gonna
we
get AI
can we
shoved down your
subsidize the AI databases to where my electric doesn't go up because they
They're
want to
paying
fund
for it?
AI? Like, there's so many different ways that we could be spending money in this country that would be so far more beneficial for the actual American people that this current administration decides to turn their head to.
God bless. All right, Tom. Let's wind this one down.
It's getting a little late. Although I did warn everyone it was going to be a late one.
I did find
said-
that Joe Rogan Gestapo video.
If you want to play that, we can play that.
That's up to you.
What time is that on?
Run it.
51 seconds.
All right, then play it.
Run it.
All right, let me exit out of Lincoln Park.
But this is just the Joe Rogan trying to catch on. He's trying to sound like Bill Burr was before he went to the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
Did Joe go to the Saudi Arabia festival?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
I didn't see him on the list.
He might not need the money.
Someone shoot a U.S. citizen, especially a woman, in the face.
Right.
Where it's like, I'm not that guy. I don't know what he thought. And again, this is a guy who had almost been run over, but it just looked horrific to me. I mean, when people say it's justifiable because the car hit him, it seemed like she was kind of turning the car away.
Yeah.
Why do
All
you
right.
run
Oh,
away?
another ad. All right. That's all we needed from that anyway. But yeah, what I learned in like driving school was like you turn the wheel all the way before you move in order to like turn the most acutely, right? Or to turn the most, right?
What's funny about that is I was taught the opposite because it wears down the rubber on your tires.
No, but
you always
but
want to
it's,
move.
it's,
It's just
it's
funny. I know what you're saying. I know.
Yeah.
I don't mean to.
But that's
yeah.
that's exactly
God.
what she did. She turned the wheel before she
Yes.
like away from the officer, and like again, we're all watching the same video, and at least for like we discussed Joe Rogan one other time and how he's kind of like just parroting the billionaire class at this point, which is really kind of a letdown for anyone that liked him before. For him to like kind of like a little bit break out of the shell, show
even-
some sunshine there.
Even that was like disheartening to watch though, because he was like just kind of playing it off like, I don't know,
He still was-
maybe. He's not giving a clear like, no, mother. We all saw the video. She wasn't trying to run this guy over. He just shot her 3 times in the face
Because he
and
knew
then,
he could get away with it.
Yes, like that is literally the story. Let's just be blatant about it. Stop this. Well, I don't know. It looked like he could have turned.
But she was a lesbian, so it's okay.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. And the color of her hair making it so obvious that she was a left activist. And
We should-
whatever. F off. To me, it's
Anytime-
so it's excessive, and it's very disheartening as well to see someone that I held in very, very high regards, being Joe Rogan, to then just be like all nonchalant about this thing that is causing not only 3 guys from fucking Ohio who have a podcast to talk about it for a couple hours, but multiple Americans are thinking it. Multiple Americans are not knowing if they can bring it up in their workspace with other people. So they're having these thoughts that are being instigated by a bunch of posts on social media that are, 90% bots, we'll say? Like, it's ridiculous that is where it's at. And I don't know.
It's sad.
It's very sad because have more of a stance, have more of a call to common sense in what all of this is. And to me, it's very black and white. And I know that I'll get criticized for having that opinion by a whole bunch of people, but that is what it is to me. I saw the video. I don't think there was any justifiable reason to shoot a woman 3 times in the face. If you want to make a claim for the first bullet, I'm not you. I was not standing where you were at. I was not in the environment.
But to call her a
can't,
bitch, though,
well,
that's not in fear of your life.
And
right? That's in retribution.
I totally agree with that.
That's a she got what she
But
deserved.
you can make a claim that you were not him for the first shot. The second two are inexcusable.
But the thing is, you should never be like basic police action is like you should never be in front of a car, and you should certainly never shoot a person driving a car while they're driving, because now if you kill them, which is what he did, there's a 4,000-pound missile going down the road. Any sort of cop, like a day one of training, will know this. And he did everything wrong.
Then is a call to the training of these ICE officers.
Well, was this ICE officer actually like wasn't this person like actually
he's had a history of issues of domestic
Well, I thought that he like served for like or whatever. Should have known better, basically, if he went through the proper training. But it didn't look like there was. It looked like we pulled up on this other clip, like gangsterism. Like, I mean, it looked like it was like that.
Well, it looked like someone who may have had the proper training, but thought they could get away with it because they were wearing a badge that said ICE.
And because they've got full support of Stephen Miller sitting there saying they've got full immunity. And this has been going on for months and months and months. Like,
I mean, talk about pouring gasoline.
I mean, even
on a
JD
fire.
Vance said they had full immunity.
Yeah.
Like, these are quotes from the vice president.
And
why
the
wouldn't any
hateful
ICE
rhetoric?
member or ICE worker think that they could do whatever the they want to do now?
But and that's the thing. Like I've kind of said, you know, I look at them when they have more money than the Marines. They are an army sent here against their own people, and they are Proud Boys. They are January Sixers. They are people just needing a paycheck. They are people who just are straight out of high school. They are people who just hate people that don't look like them.
Well, let's hate their life. They might hate their life too.
Well, let's just talk about how like absolutely privileged we are that we are 3 white males in this country. Like, what would our opinion be if we were all 3 Hispanic? For instance,
knowing a couple people that are here,
and I do too.
They're afraid.
It's a
every
different
day.
life. It's a different life. When
Every
they go
day.
home to dinner and they're sitting in their house having dinner with their family, it's not the thought of I'm so grateful to have my family. You know, what is going on tomorrow? What do we have plans and birthdays this
Well, they're
next
gonna get
week?
pulled over
It's-
driving on the
yes,
freeway
it's
because they look different.
It's literally, will I be here to have dinner tomorrow night? Because I'm a trades worker, and like I know people in the trades that are fully legal that if they were pulled over or saw at a Home Depot, they would definitely fit the stereotype of being an illegal immigrant that was working here. And based on the videos that we've seen, there's no distinguishability, and they're not asking for any of their ICE license or anything like that. Like the guy videotaping him walking into the convenience store, there was no IDing him. They had no clue if he was an American citizen or not. They just tackled him and then took him and dropped him off in a Walmart because he was recording them.
And you got all these dudes high on power, dressed like they are in a war zone.
Not identified, and
Not
that's my
identified.
biggest thing. That's my
like
biggest
you could just
thing.
get
not
out of
identified.
unmarked vehicles, and you're just supposed to like you can just go up to cars.
Well,
and
why
tell
don't we
them-
3 put on khakis and a camo whatever, and then put on that ski mask, and then just jump out and like arrest people?
It
because
happens.
We can. Yeah.
Well, I bet that we could probably even beat up a couple people, and that like the Trump administration would back us because we were trying to deport illegal aliens.
Yeah.
If we said we had any evidence that was any kind of suspect that we were following or targeting,
But we just
were
have
trying to
just
deport
have
them.
empathy, and we just look at these things objectively. Like we don't need to be like Hispanic
Yes.
or whatever. Like,
but that's
we
what I
can just
mean.
see these things as like what they are at face
Yes.
value, and just be like, that's not right.
And that's the reason I bring it up is for our audience. Like, picture yourself as a Hispanic person in this country
Yeah,
right now.
that's
legal, completely legal. Been here your whole life. Your parents moved here, got their papers. You know English. You know Spanish. You are fully accustomed to our culture and way of living in this country.
And you walk out of elementary school and your mom's gone. Like somebody just grabbed her.
There's posts I see on Instagram that I follow, like my friends that like call out where in the Northeast Ohio region, where I'm from.
Yeah.
They post up where they are, and these are just like normal people that I know from like grade school or high school or college, or friends I met in adulthood or whatever, that are all posting these things. So it's affecting all of us, and we're all trying to like get each other's backs because what we see is just not right.
Right.
It's not just.
It's almost like the alternative to your like maps, GPS, the Waze. Is that what it is? Where like people are more likely to like report where there's a policeman.
Well,
or
don't these
whatever.
communities have whistles now where they see ICE and they start with these whistles, right?
They're whistling, they're
Yeah.
honking horns. I mean, they're trying to make it a scene so that they leave because
And good. I love that. Let us all make it completely known where these people are, to where, and that isn't me coming from an angle of make it a cover so that the illegals can then escape. It's make it aware so that people that are actually legal citizens here are at least aware that some might go down. Act right. Unfortunately, that's the state we're in, but act right. Comply.
And you know everything's propaganda, right? You know what you're going to see on MSNBC.
Yep.
You know what you're going to see on Fox. So when you're watching Fox and they're saying the left is cheering for these murderers and they want these murderers to be okay, and it's like, no, we want the everyday citizen. Like, go after the worst of the worst, like you said. Take care of that. But the people who are here every day just to get numbers, just to hit bonuses, just to,
Provide for their family.
Like,
yeah,
but it's
right.
that whole thing of like, you're just capturing anybody you can because it's bonuses, it's numbers, and it's not the worst of the worst. And I think people thought that's who it would be.
But where are the worst of the worst? Unless I'm living under a rock, like if there's some
You're
gang
not hearing
violence
about
caused by like illegal Mexicans, like wouldn't that be projected from like the top of the mountains?
Oh, they
from,
would
like,
be talking about it
so,
forever.
so where is that? Where's this gang violence? I just don't like. I could be totally wrong, but I just don't see it.
I've seen more violence in Akron by the Proud Boys than I have any gang that was Latino related or
Now,
black
granted,
related.
we live in Ohio,
or
right?
sure,
and local
granted,
news or whatever. But like
sure.
that would even make the national news if
But
there was
we're
like
also
a
talking about Northeast
Mexican
Ohio
gang.
that is very heavily populated and very
That's
much like
true.
second culture to New York City.
Well, Akron has a very diverse community too.
Yeah, we are very much up with the times. Actually, Northeast Ohio in the country is very much like I said, viewed as a close second to New York City. We get a lot of influence. New York City is the first influence in the country, has been known as that, like the first place
The
that
melting
culture
pot,
hits.
yeah.
Yes. And we are very much influenced by New York City. So we're right on the edge. I haven't seen anything but a bunch of Proud Boys, and
Yeah,
I haven't
these
seen
Mexican
anything
cartels?
other than that.
Where are these big drug
Yeah,
cartels?
I know so many
Unless
Mexicans
they're in, like, New
that are
Mexico or
hardworking,
California.
legal individuals. Like, I see Mexicans all over the place. Not one of them makes me fearful. Not one of them makes me think that they are a part of a gang. Not one of them.
What scares me is what ICE thinks they're doing. Like, they think they're doing their job by tackling that Target employee inside of a Target. That's fucking crazy.
Well, because
that's
they're
them
part
doing
of
their thinking they're doing
it's like
their
what
job.
Tom said.
That's
They were
off
part of the
base.
Proud Boys narrative, and that's what you do. You act out and you take out people that are opposing you or making you look foolish.
And the president will pardon you.
Fully.
But and look, and I have seen lots of numbers on people who have been, charged with murder, and they've been here since 2003, and there are a lot of people who shouldn't be here and who are escaping the system and getting out there. So it's not like every single person being taken or deported.
But they're
is
not the
an
ones hanging out
innocent-
at a Target with a Target vest on.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
And that is a big difference
They're not
as
the one
of
at Home
trying to
Depot.
keep us safe as compared to just anybody with an accent, anybody with a different color.
Totally.
Anybody that is like, hey, I've got flak jackets and I've got weapons and I've got vehicles and I can live out my military fantasy
They're cosplaying
without having to be in real danger.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because you're in America. You're not in a third world country.
But you're gonna
fighting
cry
terrorism or
because
something of that sort.
You got nudged by a car. Get over
Yeah.
it. All right, so we're so close to Tom's.
Yeah, I think that we have now taken our audience on the correct amount of time and path for this conversation.
Yeah.
We hope that you guys can weigh in the comment section.
Yeah, please comment. If you disagree with us, we'd love to hear about it.
I want to hear disagreeals. I want to hear agreeances. I want to hear what your guys' opinion is. I made a claim that I feel like we're representing the average. I would love to hear if you guys actually think that.
Yes, Tom. I saw the title and I'm like, yeah. So we have been scolded by people in Catholic churches that are like, you can't use a flash. You can't be within 30 yards.
You can't be in the middle of the aisle.
altar.
You can't be in the middle of the aisle. Is the big one. We've had
fact, let me take that camera from you. You don't need that either.
We've had instances where we were in the middle of the aisle and the coordinator of the church actually walked up and tapped James on the shoulder and said, "Hey, can you guys stay out of the middle of the aisle?" loud enough for all of the guests around to hear. Do you remember this?
There was even one worse where I knew there was family members bringing communion up to the altar during this part of the mass.
Maybe this is what I'm referring to.
Yeah, this is what you're referring to. And I was like, oh, I want to get these family members bringing up because they select the specific family members to bring up the communion. Like, I know this. You have to know this as a photographer. So I went in the middle of the aisle in the front and just took like 2 really quick pictures of them bringing it down. And then I sat back down. Again, this church is like really quiet. You could hear like a needle dropping. And I get this really aggressive tap on the shoulder, like 3-finger tap, like 3-finger tap like that.
Like jab.
And,
we can just call it a jab.
It nudges me forward, and I turn around, and she yells at me to the point where she's trying to embarrass me in front of like everyone that's sitting around where we're sitting at. And I just like nonchalantly took those pictures. My shutter sound was off. Like you couldn't hear anything, right?
Silent.
I was totally silent. And then ducked back in, and then she just yelled at me for doing that. She's like, how disrespectful, and how dare you? And I was just like, how disrespectful are you being right now?
Right.
And when the mass is still going on, to be yelling at me.
Yeah.
When I'm just trying to do my job and to capture these moments that I'm hired to capture. Anyway, I could go on and on about. But yeah, I have a certain feeling about we'll do it. We'll shoot in a Catholic church. Catholic mass is fine. But like, just hope that your people aren't unreasonable when it comes to wedding photography.
And the thing is that we are never disrupting the entire
Oh
ceremony.
no, we don't do that.
Like we stand in the
get
middle of the
compliments.
aisle during church ceremonies.
Our goal is to be unseen.
It flies on the wall.
That people get their photos and stuff back and are like, wow, I didn't even know you were there taking
We've
these
gotten
photos."
so many of that. Yeah. So I'm excited to hear about this. Let's go.
But so yeah, this was in honor of me having a wedding with you guys. This was a little fun thing. We've been pretty lucky with as far as like brides and couples, you know, being
they've been
real.
great.
But you know, I know we've had a couple priests described as prickly, and then we meet them, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, that is. So
Gotcha.
This is a good.
Unmute though.
Involve a bridezilla, did not involve Vera Wang either. No, it was the priest going at it with the photographer. A lot of people debating this story online this morning.
Yeah, the bride and groom mortified at what was playing out on the most important day of their
Oh
lives.
my God, I couldn't
so
imagine
was the priest
being them.
right or wrong to do what he did?
It's not even in a church.
Took a look, hey, Rena.
I've never heard a wedding story like this one, I gotta tell you guys. You've heard about the groom who can't find the ring, the bride missing her wedding dress, but how do you respond when your priest has a wedding meltdown?
It's the moment this couple has dreamed about for months.
And in accordance with God's will, you do now confess it.
Then it goes all wrong. But it's not Bridezilla. This time, the priest.
You hear the shutters going off.
Sirs, leave.
He stops mid-ceremony to scold photographers doing Rob and Noel Rule's wedding.
This is a solemn assembly, not a photography session.
I really was shocked. It wasn't something I ever anticipated. I was kind of more distraught and a little bit mortified, actually. I just knew we needed to get married.
I love the girl's face, like, oh, okay.
They're so embarrassed.
I will stop the ceremony if you do not get out of the way.
Photographer
I love the tripod in the middle of the aisle pointing down though.
Makes a hasty retreat.
My responsibility is to capture the great shot. At the same time, I do not want to interrupt the ceremony. But he just snapped out of nowhere. It was just unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it.
Can you imagine being on the local news? One of us being on the local news? Because this
Oh
happens to
my
us every
God,
day.
I know, right?
And then they pull clips of us from the podcast.
Yeah. These guys are actually Nazis.
They did like a Zoom call with a couple and recorded
Is
it.
not uncommon.
You're definitely going to come across priests that really take a
Swank
hard
Productions.
Shouts out Swank Productions, dude. Swank Productions.
Share in the couple's shock.
Please move. Or I will
Oh
stop.
God, that's a nightmare.
As well as their wedding.
All right, that was a
dress.
good pick, Tom. That was a good pick.
But like, can you imagine being that couple? Like, you're just like, I want
It's
these
embarrassing.
photos.
Yeah.
That's gotta be tough.
It's similar to what I tell every single photographer when I'm a videographer. So when I show up to a wedding and I'm working with a new photographer, the first thing that I say to them is, the wedding isn't about you or I or your photos or my video. The wedding's about the couple. Let's work together to make the day as enjoyable for the couple while providing them the service that we said that we would provide. That is outrageous because not only did they ruin the ceremony for all of the
He made it
audience
about
members,
himself.
He made it about himself. Yeah. He made himself a news clip. There's no chance the couple's ever going to think about their wedding and not think about their priest going off on their photographer. How selfish to take that away from them, especially on a moment they experience once.
And they're going to be apologizing profusely. Like we've dealt with something like that where the bride and groom, it's nothing that they've done, but they're just like, we're so sorry, and that they were so embarrassed. Like, and what a way to ruin somebody's day.
What was the rest of their reception like? Like that.
Can you believe that priest?
Yes, that ruined the rest of their wedding too.
The thing was, it wasn't even at a church. I was expecting this to be at like a big cathedral or something
where
dramatic.
You can't walk on the steps.
It was outside on a lawn. They were just on grass.
It was like at a golf course.
And then he took it that seriously.
I'm pretty sure God was fine with the photographers.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway,
that was a great pick. Thank you for bringing us back into the wedding season. Oh man. Well, we hope you guys had a great time with us today. I know we kept you a little bit late here. Like we said earlier, comment some opinions below. We talked about a lot of controversial.
We appreciate all the new subscribers.
And yes,
thank you for all the new subscribers. We're gonna keep going. We love doing this. And we love hanging out and sharing like our weekly thing, our beer, and like topics that we're all talking about that we all have in our minds, and just like coming at it at like an objective, just like an every person kind of point of view.
Yeah.
And I hope that we kind of speak to you in a way where you're nodding your head like, yeah, no, that makes sense, and like someone like understands me, or you just enjoy like listening to people hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I would like to consider all of us as like empaths. So I feel like we all do a good job at like writing like the overall vibe of the average person. So hopefully you guys find some benefit in hearing us shoot the about some current topics and controversial topics at the same time.
Next episode might be a little bit different.
Oh, thank you for reminding us, Tom. Oh, it will be a lot different because we're having our first guest and we're so excited.
Yes, first guest on the pod.
So we're excited not just because it's our first guest. Obviously, we're excited because it's our first guest, but like what make this even more special is how cool of a guest that we have.
And I had his CDs up last time, and I meant to bring them back to have them in camera shots
this
time.
Let's let Tom is the whole reason that we are able to have this first guest. Do you want to go ahead and introduce him?
Should I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's introduce him.
If you made it this far, you deserve an introduction to our first guest.
Let's give you some insight into what next week involves.
So we've all talked about how big of fans we are of stand-up comedy, and one of the first people that I saw on a regular basis was actually somebody who I have known since I was a kid because my mom married his uncle. So we spent a little bit of time together, and then once things, years go by, and then I have a really fun story about the first time I got to see him live. And it happened to be my dad was there, so it's pretty kind of interesting and a little awkward. But Bill Squire's going to be here with us.
Bill Squire.
Yep, local comedian.
Local legend.
Local legend. He does so much for the Cleveland comedy scene. He's hosting shows. He's always doing something. He's always helping people out. He spent probably 10 plus years on the Alan Cox show.
Yeah, which is where I know him from.
And we all know him from different ways, and we're all big fans. So
I've seen him live before. Didn't even know who he was. He was just at the Funny Stop.
I've had the chance that he let me help film a couple of his specials back in the day. I've gotten to see him at every chance I've been able to. So it'll be super exciting to catch up with him.
Oh, dude. Having a vet comedian on here for our first guest is so awesome. I'm so pumped for it.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
It's a big deal.
And he has a show going on that same night. So we're hoping that through some post work, we'll be able to take some like BTS footage of us going to the show, include it in that podcast. I think we're going to probably end up like recording a separate outro for that podcast to include it, or maybe even including it in the next episode. But we are very excited to have him sitting, the first guest on our guest couch over here.
Try not to fangirl.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll try, but we're gonna have some fun. He's a comedian, so hopefully we'll be able to banter back and forth and hear some insight into his history and what like the life of a comedian
and what he's gonna do in the future. Spoiler alert! But we're gonna get into some of his future prospects.
Some big
things. Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we're super excited about that and overall introducing guests in the future. This is kind of breaking the ice in our guest layout. And so hopefully things are
And you'll
hopefully
see
it
a
goes
new
well.
angle of this studio, which is the guest couch.
Yeah, you'll be able to see this magnificent couch we have over here.
That's
sitting
holding
for
my
our
coat
guests.
and lunchbox at the moment.
It's holding a lot of stuff right now. All right, that'll have
I
Bill.
love it.
Or I was gonna say Bill Burr on it.
I don't know if we'll have us on
something
anymore.
way better, Bill Squire.
Yes, much better than Bill Squire. Thank you guys for hanging out. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next Wednesday for a new
Thanks for
episode.
the hangout. I need a pee.
Me first. Me first. I'm older.
Was it worth the headphones?
It's his house.
Was it worth the headphones?